Oh. Good afternoon, everybody. So, guess what, guys? It's Rage Forest time. But beyond that, I gave my very first university lecture yesterday on Age of Empires 2 via Zoom. And it was a good sized class, too. It was like 46 or so students, I think. Had a good Q&A session at the end. And I was given them permission to upload it. So, doesn't that all sound great? No, they seem to really enjoy it. Well, when I was recording it, my mic was in use on Zoom, which meant it wasn't in use on OBS. Which meant that all of my voice was not recorded. Oops. Now, thankfully, Dr. Vados said he was also recording it, so hopefully he'll be able to send it over. And I can upload it that way, but it's like, oh, jeez. Yeah, like my actual lecture. I even made a PowerPoint and everything. Wait, sure, it should start at 17:30? Oh, no, he's a young guy. Yeah, it was online. It's a summer class, obviously. But yeah, man. Look at this. Goals and structure. Lots of history and Age of Empires stuff. Went through every single expansion. It was very academic. But why does TWS say it starts in a half hour? Ad? Oh yeah, well, I get those sorts of ads. Got here a bit late. They were undergraduate students at the University of Toronto, taking a summer class called History in Video Games. Oh, they're Canadian, so I don't know how much they would have to pay for it. University of Toronto is Ellie's alma mater, though, so you could have to ask her. No, but like I said, I had a good audience, and the students seemed to enjoy it. And I'd like to upload it. Just talk a lot about the history and design aspects and how you, the player, and the developers all interact with history when it comes to creating content for Age of Empires, as in adding civilizations mostly. Full semester. No, like we talked about grand strategy games. One of the questions was about that. And I said that it creates a different challenge in the context of Age of Empires 2 because it's much more of an arcade RTS game like a StarCraft and Warcraft than it is something like a Civilization or a Stronghold. I think those games are also more the grand strategy side of things. And you really have to condense the actual history into just like a few units all moving very quickly. So it's like you have to change the degree of historical representation and artistic license, essentially, as the developers. All right, guys. If I get Arena, we'll play the game. If I don't get Arena, we'll go and cast T90. That's how this is going to work. Oh no. Guys, I think my game connection is getting unstable. The game's getting increasingly unstable. Oh no. Oh my goodness, guys, my game just crashed. Wow, that's unfortunate. Right before the game was about to start, too. Really sad there. You can see I'm beside myself with grief, you know it. As I pointed out to the devs, you know, even at, you know, around 2k elo, we are in a situation where people would rather not play Age of Empires than be forced to play a map they don't want to play. Considering how often I get Q-dodged and Q-dodged myself. And that's, you know, people at around 2k are at least relatively devoted to Age of Empires as a game. Wait, why would you build your mill here and not here? What? I don't understand it. Oh, thanks to the raid, Ovenka? I think Ovenka would be playing in the tournament. Who's Harakiri? No idea. Whose team are you on? I didn't see the team draft. Versus Harold Leary Hart. That's interesting, right? Because Leary and Hart started out as BF players, but you don't really associate them with the map these days. But obviously, they're still super good. So I'll be very curious to see how well they perform. Oh, look at T90 with his Ethiopian outposts. It's so cute. Classic Woo Cav archers. Frickin' love it. Now he does have that second town center. Got his egg base going, but right now he's on Ethiopian Knights, which doesn't really feel great. I mean, you could say the same thing about the Woo Cav archers, but Cav archers are so inherently good that it's okay to be on them. But okay, there we go. Now T90 switched into the archers. I guess he had the... Oh, there's the second range. Okay. You miss a few things when you're casting on times 8 speed. Anyway, now we're on the almighty skirmisher. Mango's coming in here from T90. Oh, good smash there onto all of the mangonels, but T90's about to be imp, so he's probably fine. Tristan was a lot faster in adding in the economy stuff. There you go. Go get that relic. That's definitely not ideal, though. I'm not too sure what Harakiri's doing, though. Like, your skirms aren't all that great as the Wu. You missed that last armor upgrade, which is quite painful. See it every Friday. Rip. Like, this could very easily just be a situation where T90 has so many... Oh, rip. That hurts. Production greater than TC's. I think he's trying to find extra room for his arbalests to shoot and harass villagers, which I definitely understand, but I don't necessarily disagree with going after production either. But T90 should be able to do a wide array of things and win the game at this point. He's got the better Imperial Age Civ, he's got map control, he's got the significantly better economy, and Harakiri's not actually really hacking into anything whatsoever. He's trying to go Fire Archers, which is like the worst thing you could ever do against Ethiopians. They just get murdered by Ethiopian arbs. T90's got fully upgraded. Oh, torsion engine, bombard cannons. Guys, they're like Hofnitsa, but balanced. Isn't that fun? Hello, Rockment. When I send Cav to raid, but Arbs are a Schwerpunkt army. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, RF apparently was delayed by a half hour, so we only have another 15 minutes or so to kill. And we will be casting with T-West. I thought it would be fun for the inaugural set of the tournament. I would like it if T90 grabbed the last armor upgrade for sure. He can totally afford it. Does at least have Thumbring, I believe. Yes? No, he doesn't. Ooh, yeah. Tristan, pick that one up, man. Was on a heavy point. Well, I spend a lot of time around weird German people. I mean, just look at Fodler. Prime example. And I do love Ethiopians. One of my favorite civs. It's such a simple civ. They have 3 bonuses. And one of them is just free pikemen. And yet, I feel like they have like so much personality, like unique playstyle, and fun units. Don't feel gimmicky at all. Can beat skirms? Yep. But at least you have very good siege to help beat skirms. Hotels can also sort of work. Hussars. Your Hussars aren't good, but they're not a disaster either. They're the same as Celt Hussars. No final armor, no bloodlines. That's obviously, you know, arguably the 2 most important upgrades. But you do have Husbandry. You have all the attack upgrades. So they're far from unusable. And you have Hussar itself, of course. T90 is struggling to close this one out. Greater than Korean Hussars? Yes. And they're better than something like a Japanese light cav, by and large. Well, Japanese light cav get more HP. Hussars attack a little bit faster, get the extra bonus damage versus mugs. Bloodlines is a lot cheaper, so you could say that it's just easy to get to, but yeah. I would say basically the same as Japanese light cav. So here's the deal. T90 is not with many arbalests left. Now, he still has the bombard cannon, so he has very powerful gold units, but the actual meat and potatoes of his army, not the best. And Wu have very solid hussars. Oh, siphons! I wonder what he was trying to click. Make showtells? Showtells would be very good here for sure, but they are quite pricey on the gold cost. No potatoes, nay. Not unless you're playing as the Incas. Or the Musica. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I think the Traction Treb might be the worst unit added to AoE since the Shrivamsha Rider. I think I dislike them even more than Heroes. And I dislike Heroes a lot. It's such an unsatisfying unit. Worse than Fire Archer? I mean, Fire Archers are kind of bleh, but I don't think they're that bad, especially compared to Traction Trebs. It's such a unit that feels so helpless or overpowered. And there's absolutely no in between. Mangonels? Oh, they're a little bit different. I honestly wonder if giving them 100% accuracy would be a nerf. It would make them even better at sniping at trebuchets and other, well, trebuchets, really. But it would make them so much worse than at, like, the whole, basically, mortar fire, super long distance stuff. I don't know. Guess we can watch this. It is a tournament game. All right, this is Doubt versus Target as part of the Specialist Cup. Doubt's up 2-1 in this one, so I think it's match point. I think Target did win the last one, though. The Target will be the Red Shoe to the south, and Doubt will be the Blue Persians to the north. Did this always have oysters in the middle? I feel like this didn't used to have oysters in the middle. What do I know? I think that's just how this particular map generated. I have no idea. It's a big map. Very big map. Shu are fine. They're like a perfectly fine water civ. You do miss the fire ship upgrades. You miss fast fire ship, and your hulks are really bad. But you do have fully upgraded galleons, and you have your good Lochwans. So there certainly is something to be said for that. And you do have a wood bonus. Well, I guess technically it's a food bonus, but it applies to your lumberjacks, so we're gonna call it a wood bonus that's relevant on water maps. You don't need as many villagers on food to sustain production. Meanwhile, Persians are kind of the opposite, right? You don't have shipwright, whereas the Shu do. And without Bracer, your galleons are kind of underwhelming. But you do have fully upgraded fast fire ships and hulks. So, a little bit different. I would say both civs are similarly okay to good, but not amazing late game water, and this map does go late game quite often. Now going with the forward dock. Persians are definitely much stronger in the early game, though. They are one of the primo early game water civs. Early fishing ship coming out. Meanwhile, here for red, is actually only just now going to be coming in for his first dock. Persian's able to get that a little bit earlier thanks to the power of extra starting resources. Hello, Eddie Lee. Salam. Thanks for the casting. It is my job, such as it is. Oh, just the scout annoying the palisade wall there. Nothing terribly interesting. Just make sure you don't let the scout in. Remember when scouts couldn't even do this because the fishing ships would just jump into the dock and arrow down the scout? Those were strange times. Now off to a very strong start here, though, really leveraging the Persian economy quite successfully. This is what the Persian eco can look like without sanctions. All those LNG exports.
Salam.
Doubt grabbing the loom, so evidently feudal age is going to be imminent. And Doubt already a couple hundred resources ahead. That is very, very significant at this stage in the game. You need to make sure that the repairs are there as needed. Doubt's on his way up. And it certainly looks like Doubt will be playing something at least relatively aggressive here in the middle pond. Again, Persians are really good at doing that. You see the dock from your opponent. Loom coming in now from target. I would not be surprised to see a second dock attempted for Doubt here forward. It's just his transports in the back. Just a hair bit of idle time for both players. It is 3 fishing ships per player. You can see Doubt's using the oysters right there to skip out on the extra wood needed for a mining camp. And now he's already able to come in with lumber camp number 2. 14 vills on the resource. Like I said, second dock going to be for the feudal age naval aggression. Oh yeah, I will open up Discord to see if T West yells at me that they're about to start. But hey, it's not my fault they changed it at the last second. I know that last night they said they were starting at 17 GMT and not 17:30. Anyway, I imagine double fire ships here. Yep. Actually, Ornlu, they're fire galleys. Yeah. But you're up to the feudal age faster. You've got your 2 docks here. Definitely, I think, the best play here, just to apply as much early pressure as possible. Scout sees exactly what's going on. It's really hard to argue with Doubt's opening. Oh, there'll be many villagers that fall in the Dark Age. Not entirely sure what you're trying to do with that. You know your opponent's scout has more HP, but here we are. Feudal Age is in. Hulks are on the way to counter this. Ooh, Doubt's following up with more fire galleys. I think you need to follow it up with hulks. I think you go 2 fire galleys into hulks. The fire galleys apply more pressure to both the fishing ships and the docks. I guess hulks and fire galleys both apply pressure to fishing ships, but especially the docks, the fire galleys do a great job of applying pressure. But the hulks are needed to at least challenge the enemy hulks. Because now it's, I think, a little bit more difficult to take a good engagement. Yeah. Well, great micro here from Doubt. Not afraid of the dock, and I guess that The Hulks actually aren't good enough here. Not to challenge 2v4 like that. Anyway, that guy's gonna get sunk. Doubt actually... Doubt's macro slipping a little bit here. Doesn't have any villagers on gold. Just now building a barracks, you can see that the ship production really lagged behind when he was focusing on the fights. And this is going to give a bit of an opportunity here for Target to get back on target. Because he's adding in a third dock. Doubt's eco's still stronger, though. Both players with double bit-axe. But 3 docks to 2, even in Persian docks, that's still better for our shoe player. And we'll have to see what Doubt wants to do with this barracks. And it will be an archery range. And apply pressure. Who has decreased the most? Can I say myself? In terms of overall relevance, probably me. Oh, but in terms of skill level, as this should be a good fight here for Red. Hard to say. I don't think anyone's really gone down so much as other people have gone up. No, demolition chips don't exist. Don't be ridiculous. Like, you could say people like Lewis and Sebastian have gone up. You know, Niaz has gone up. So, like, I guess by default that pushes other people down a little bit, but at the same time, I don't really think that that's changed all that much. Anyway, Doubt, after a really strong start, kind of fumbling a little bit. Now Target's the one here, applying a ton of pressure to the other side. Doubt's going to need to get some damage done with his archers, but he only has 2 archers without fletching on the opposite side of a map with a very long rush distance. Not really the best. And now Target in the driver's seat. Nobody remotely close to the castle edge. Without making demos, that's where we are right now. Demos are quite bad. Barracks coming in here from Target. Only 4 villagers on food, 3 of which are fishing ships. And I think, well, yeah, 1 villager on shorefish. Really leveraging that food bonus he gets from the wood. Man, isn't the new water balance so much more fun? Mm-hmm. Nice job there snagging the fire ship from Doubt. And he is still slightly ahead in resources. But again, he's slightly ahead in resources, but he has a ton more villagers, so obviously the eco-efficiency isn't actually where it needs to be. Market coming in now here from Target, and he's actually a bit closer to Castle Age. Archer's now finally moving out on the map, and, you know, Target's gonna need something to stop this. And to be fair, he won't really have anything. That said, without fletching... Up, there's fletching. Had tsunamis, oh no. Actual high tides. Alright, here come the archers. Obviously, Doubt's got to make a lot happen here, because he's getting his butt kicked on the water. But he will make a lot happen, right? He has both the means and the necessity to make a lot of damage happen. This will be, I think, at least 4 villagers. That last lady should be the final one to go down, which is not bad, right? That spearman is woefully inadequate. Villagers are going to rush up a tower over there, and finally Target's eco is looking less efficient than he would like it. That said, once he hits Castle Age as the shoe, just a quick war chariot's going to be very, very helpful in shoving away all of these feudal age units. But still, that was absolutely necessary for the Doubtster, because behind this, I actually would have liked to have seen some fishing ships come in earlier from Target. He's on 5 right now. Doubt's on 10. He has gone out here on the back. He's going on the outback. And actually, is Target any of the wiser? He still has a scout cavalry alive, which means... And he still has his transport ship, both of which are idle right now, which is not what you want. And you could certainly argue that a faster player than Target would be checking to see if Doubt's on the outside and then, you know, trying to do something about it. Remember that Target's even slower than Doubt. Target plays at my speed, around 40 APM. Enthusiasm for casting AoE 2. I don't think it's gone down in terms of do I enjoy casting the game Age of Empires? I don't think so. I think my enthusiasm for streaming has gone down, but that's sort of a necessary consequence of my life right now. But do I still love Age of Empires the game and casting Age of Empires the game? Absolutely. Stable coming in for Doubt, and he's almost up to the Castle Age. Now his eco is really going to be starting to take a sizable advantage. Shut up, dolphins. That's not even that far away from imp resources, man. To love Faderias? Why would I love Faderias? Oh, wait, hold on. T-West is messaging me. No, wait, Doubt's here with his archers. They have Bodkin. Man, honestly, a war chariot would have been fine and faster to come out. But now Doubt really should be getting into the driver's seat at this point. The backfish boom, completely uninterrupted, has really eliminated all of the gains that Target's made here in the middle of the map. Check the dashboard. Alright, looks like they are getting into the lobby, so we'll have to get out of this one. Alright, let's get T-West on the horn.
Want to see without the ads? Check it out there. Oh, and Banani Panini, thank you also for using your sub. Ornlu sending a collaboration request.
Knock, knock.
Let us give the infidel dogs of the West a sight the likes of which no son of Europe has it.
Knock, knock. Oh. What the heck? Hello?
Hello, Ornlu, you here?
Yep. Discord decided to switch my mic and my headset.
Yeah, I heard that. Hold on, I have your audio on stream. Go into, let me mute that. Did you combine the chats? You gotta click the combine chat button.
I was going to, and then you hit the call button, and then I got distracted, because, you know.
Okay. Too many things.
Yep. Yeah, I need to adjust all this stuff real quick.
All right. Anyway, we have a lobby up. This is Team Sitaux against Team JorDan. Sitaux, a previous champion of Rage Forest events. So Ornlu canceled their request.
What? I did not cancel the request to join.
Oh, JavaScript is terrible. Thank you so much for the sub to Ornlu.
Looking at the teams, I feel like Sitau's looks best.
Well, Sitaux is the defending champion, I believe. Okay, I can still see your chat and my chat.
Okay, shared chat is on. We're good. We're good. You click the buttons.
I did. I have no idea, man.
All right. Let me go find the draft that we have, because they draft ahead of time, especially your team with JorDan, because he's always very well prepared and punctual. And I think we're loading in. They added a spectator delay. They're not supposed to use a spectator delay.
Oh.
But they did.
If you find the draft, would you be so kind as to share the link?
Yes, let us post it in the chat.
Okay, that works too.
I also make an overlay for this real quick.
Yep, there is a spec delay, and we will get into this shortly, and thank you for consenting to cast with me.
The consenting to cast. What a way to put it.
Alright, a minute, guys, and we will be getting into game number 1, and we've already got a new Civ going to be in the mix, so that should be interesting.
Alright, let me just get this draft on screen real quick. And set up, make it a bit larger so people can see. Not cut off the bands. And all right, so this is the group stage. This is a play all three. This is our very first set. No surprise to see JorDan being the most punctual of the schedulers.
Oh my god.
And there are some random bands and then some team bands. They're just a bit more centered. There we are. So Kelt's first overall pick there for Team Sitaux. Nothing too surprised. Let me make sure I got the sides right on the draft. I got them backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Let me flip this.
Portuguese, the number 1 pick for Team Sitaux, is a little interesting to me. Usually we see teams prioritize pocket picks, as most of the other civs in the top 4 for each team are pocket civs. But they did go with Portuguese first.
Yeah, Celts are the classic Black Forest pocket Halbonager civ. Yep. Japanese also pretty highly picked too for JorDan. That would be, I mean, you're hoping you get pawns if you pick Japanese to fish boom.
We are good to go.
Let's do Team JorDan versus Team Sitaux. Boom. All right, so welcome to Rage Forest 6. This is our very first game. And I don't know why my overlay isn't
massive
working.
Streak.
Is that there's the there we go. Right. So you'll have immediately Sitaux versus Niaz on the flank. JorDan's team. JorDan, Niaz, the Crocs, and Shikso. Sitau's team. Sitaux, Turs, Margugu, and Cool Cat. Elveanor, thanks for subbing to Ornlu.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Right off the bat, we have a 4-lake setup with the Vilfights on each side. It'll be Shu versus Aztecs, JorDan versus Margugu to the top left. And then Armenians versus Mapuche with the Champy Scout involved here. That'll be Niaz versus Sitaux in the southeast.
Yeah, so already, you know, the first things we have to look at when it comes to Rage Forest are what are the choke points, and we can see we basically have 3 separate choke points, one on each side, and then kind of a long one in the middle of the map. There is some build fighting happening on both sides, and of course the pond situation, where it's a very exposed pond here at the front for JorDan, so he certainly had to go forward early, make sure he could secure that, but it seems like he's been able to do that quite successfully.
Well, meanwhile, on the other side, Niaz going forward with 2 Vills. He's going to wall off Sitaux from the rest of his team and make a wall right between Sitaux and Turs.
Oh boy, this is interesting already. We do have Niaz going at it. Of course, Niaz is a relatively new player on the scene and certainly not somebody who is known for playing a ton of RF. Or I guess Rage Forest in this case. So we'll have to see how he performs overall, but he is certainly making things quite messy early on. And hello, only positive vibes, TTV.
Yeah, we do know that Niaz will be prepared for long games. I'm sure he has a stockpile of burgers ready. Oh, the Crocs might lose a vill. Ooh, okay. The Crocs almost lost a villager luring the Rhino by his TC, but he recovered. Was microing his scout too much, probably. Ooh, that was risky. That was risky.
Yeah, and so I was talking with Sensar when you were unfortunately unavailable to cast one of the show matches, and he agreed with me that the pocket should always fish boom if they are able to. But we're in a situation where, 1, no pocket has access to Sitau's pond, and 2, would we have, say, Shixo go all the way forward and try and go for a big fish boom that is in such a precarious position? So we'll have to see if the pockets can successfully get that going.
Alright, so some crazy shenanigans going on with Niaz's Vills trying to lame Turs' Rhino, but Turs will get it back to the TC. Sitaux has his scout there trying to surround Niaz's Vill, but Niaz manages to wall it in. And I think Niaz still has another sneak Vill. Yes, he does. Oh, Niaz could now wall between Turs and Cool Cat. I'm sure that what he's going to want to do is get that sneak Vill over to do a dock in Cool Cat's pond. Remember, in Rage Forest, there's no garrisoning of the fishing ships, so it does make those sneak docks a bit more aggressive when the dock won't shoot arrows. And you're also not going to deny a dock. Wouldn't do it in the Dark Age anymore, but say in the Feudal Age by garrisoning fishing ships and shooting the Vill.
Yeah, really, really important change that you guys made, and certainly one that I am not going to complain about, as we already have the fish boom starting to come underway. And middle choke point still quite open. Nobody really getting a good full wall there. So I think we can have the opportunity to take a quick look at the civs. Shu versus Aztecs is a bit odd because you'd think Shu maybe play like pocket traction trebs and infantry, and Aztecs could go for the monk rush against them.
I don't know. I think Shu might want to go some type of aggression with war chariots on the flank. I don't know how good that'll work on Rage Forest, but if you're going to go double workshop, you might be able to add rams or mangonels along with the war chariots to put pressure on the wall.
Yeah, that certainly is an option, and we'll have to see how that goes, because, I mean, late game, the traction trebs are absolutely fantastic. I played an extremely annoying game the other day, an arena of Shu versus Bohemians, where it was just traction trebs and Hofnitsa shooting each other for like 30 minutes. It's a pretty silly unit, so that's certainly something that JorDan, of course, as the team captain, is going to want to get to eventually.
Oh, triple boar coming in for Niaz. He'll get all 3 of them. Nicely done under his TC. I'm looking at those 6 rhinos right in between purple and orange down that passageway, and I want to see someone go for all 6 of them.
Oh, yeah. Who is destined for greatness?
It'll have to be Cool Cat. And yep, Niaz does have the sneak Vill. He's building it at the top of the map, and he's just waiting for the moment to pounce on that pond, I think. Cool Cat right now, if he didn't see it, doesn't have line of sight to the Vill. And he, as you said, the pocket wants to go for a fish boom and won't be able to do that if that Vill can, or at least not be able to do it calmly and peacefully if the Vill can dock that pond.
Yeah, it's something that you have to be really, really careful about. That said, Turs, of course, good player that he is on the prowl with his scout cavalry. He knows that his opponent has a bunch of Vills all over the place, and well done there from Turs. Finds the sneak villager.
Well, it's walled in, but not that much HP. Niaz needs to react. He doesn't react in time. The scout's pretty low. Maybe he can still fight the scout. Turs is going to get back. This is where Turs is just going to be as annoying as he can to try to block foundations and block walling. As Cool Cat pulls 2 Vills. He needs to pull a fishing ship to block the dock spot, and he does. Oh, nicely done then. That dock won't go up.
Yeah, really well done so far here from Team Sitaux. And I guess we have to say that they're the favorites, as Sitaux did win the last Rage Forest. So, and certainly a lot of Rage Forest veterans on this team.
Yes, indeed. And on the other side, we'll have a tower rush along both of the walls. So Margugu defending with the tower, JorDan going aggressively with the tower. I don't know how much Margugu has been playing or preparing for Rage Forest. I know he's not really playing 1v1 events these days like he used to. So it'll be interesting to see how in shape he is for this event.
Well, you know, on the one side, you have the burgers, and on the other side, you have the doors that don't open. Age of Empires
if you could have a,
at its finest.
if you could have a meal right now, Ornlu, and you had to pick burger or baguette.
Ooh. I'm not super hungry, so I think I'd just take a baguette.
Okay, I'm going burger 100%.
Well, there you go. It's further into lunchtime for you than it is for me.
All right, Shikso will lose his scout, and now both players in the middle passageway. Looks like Margugu has managed to wall that. Interesting, the flank and opposite pocket were the two fighting over it. You kind of do want the pocket to be more focused on the boom, I think, as we have Margugu sending some militia. I think he had done them to fight in the choke point earlier, but he's just trying to do anything he can to clean up Niaz's Ville, as Niaz is trying to quick wall however he can to keep the Ville alive. He's trying to escape, and he does. Now it's futile, though. Now the dock would be garrisoned for a normal game to shoot the Ville, but you can't now in Rage Forest. So this would be... the Cool Cat would just garrison a fishing ship and shoot that Ville, so the wall wouldn't happen. But this is why we disabled the garrisoning. So you can't stop sneak Villes with your dock. That's one of the big reasons.
Yep, that is already in the very first game of the tournament, already coming into effect, so interesting decision there. But Cool Cat's going to be building a galley anyway, so that villager will be going down in just a moment, almost certainly. And... just should be a couple shots, and there's one, and there is two, so all of that has finally been cleaned up. As we're already getting players up to Castle Age now, T West.
Yep, and both sides with some tower rushes and aggression. Sitaux adding in some archers behind this. He's going to keep doing more towers. And Niaz, since he was messing around with the Villes, probably won't be up all that fast. That annoying wall he has still is between Sitaux and Turs, but they'll take that out slowly but surely.
Yeah, they're even human ally walls, so they're extra HP just to be that much more annoying right there. Very helpful.
Now Shikso is the Kuman pocket also, now that you mentioned them, with a 2 TC fish boom.
Yeah, basically the strongest economy in all of Age of Empires right there. 48 eco units right now for Shikso. Gonna be going crazy with that fish boom. Meanwhile, JorDan is acquiescing to fish boom on his side, so it's gonna be no extra pocket fish boom there. But the same thing is happening thanks to the walling efforts of Niaz, so it's gonna be Sitaux who's forced to fish boom, which does mean that both Turs and the Crocs are stuck without any fish boom at all.
Yeah, but I think the important thing is getting the Kuman player for the fish boom, because Kumans are one of those civs, they can either go as the Paladin civ, or they could play Halb Siege Onager. They don't have the best Siege Onagers, but they can still be your SO civ. I'm sure you'd much rather have the Koreans do it, but they can play either role depending on the circumstance.
Or you could go for Kipchak-based aggression. So humans, certainly, I wouldn't call them a top-tier Black Forest civ, but they have their strengths, and if you play to them effectively with a huge timing advantage with your sick eco, it can certainly be very, very deadly. That said, the Crocs, with that, Koreans pick literally one of the best civs on Black Forest. Rocket carts, towers, halbs, fire lancers, all that good stuff. Certainly going to be that powerhouse role in the late game, just as Turs is with the Saracens on the other team.
Well, there's no loom for Shikso, and he's going to lose a villager to a tiger in the south of the map. He was doing a blacksmith and a house back there. I don't know why he was doing a blacksmith in the middle of the woods, but he got killed by a tiger.
Feels bad, man. Pretty good uptime, though.
3 TC boom. Yeah, 3 TC boom for Cool Cat. And yeah, Shikso up to the Castle Age too. And if you're the Kumans and you have a good eco, you can just add in even more eco and keep booming if you want to.
Yeah, this is interesting, though, T West, because the Crocs is not going for a super late-game oriented play with Koreans. He is building a couple of rocket carts. Now, this will have the benefit of defending his ally, but on the flip side, you're going to have Turs so far ahead of you, and of course, a big blob of Mamelukes is not something any civ wants to deal with as the game goes on.
No, I mean, Koreans have good siege onagers to deal with that, but Mamluks do have a huge attack bonus against the war wagons. That's always a tricky one because the war wagons have more range, but if you mess up with your micro, the Mamluks will slaughter the war wagons.
Yeah, it's a really tricky matchup, I would say, at the very least. Also, that poor scout cavalry TOS in the middle of the map. Absolutely sandwiched.
2 HP stuck between two walls. I mean, the Crocs could always delete a wall and let it free. Oh, there's an archer coming for it. There's an archer coming for it.
It's a blob? Yeah, that is the correct nomenclature right there.
Oh, and there goes the poor scout.
Aw, feels bad, man.
Yeah, and as you pointed out, the rocket carts from the Crocs will have turrets going for a workshop too. But TC difference there. 2 TCs for the Crocs, 3 for turrets, so we should have the better eco. And we have the better boom on this side. We also have the workshop for Cool Cat over to the west. But it looks like JorDan isn't trying to pressure. He's just happy to boom right now. Well, I guess he's not up yet. Maybe he'll add in a workshop. JorDan and Niaz still behind a bit. But
That's a
I
quick
guess so are the
university.
flanks.
What the
Sitaux
heck?
not up.
Is JorDan gonna Fimp it? We're Fimping it, T-West.
Workshop University, he has the resources for it. And as the Shu, you do have a very smooth, fast imp if you want to start adding in your archer line, because Bracer, Bodkin, Fletching all are cheaper, and your archer line upgrades, Crossbow and Arb are cheaper too. So getting imp going for an Arb siege push could definitely be a possibility.
Yeah, well, certainly have to keep an eye out for in this one, and we got to say that these Rage Forest games, there is never a shortage of things to talk about, as there's just so much happening on all fronts of the map. Nice Mangonel hit there, and the Crocs, not the best micro with the rocket carts. And this pressure is going to be continuing, and that's what you're supposed to be, doing here as Crocs, is you're supposed to be shielding your ally Niaz, who's been, doing all of his chicanery early.
Yeah, Gigs Niaz doing for more walls. The Crocs helping out. And they'll let Niaz get up a castle. Should be able to stop the push with the castle. Tower in front even to try to keep the Mangonel away from the Castlevilles. Rocket cart out. Nice rocket cart from Crocs.
Nice little bit of redemption
Sitaux.
shot right there. I mean, those are actually Margagoose archers that are literally on the other side of the map. But,
that
they all
was
get cleaned
actually
up.
Sitaux and Margugu. I thought there was a split. It was actually both players just moving their archers in different directions.
I mean, it is a split. I mean, they were together, and then they were not together. But we do have Cool Cat already with a defensive Mangonel getting ready, and I think that, we really haven't talked about Cool Cat all that much. His eco isn't as good as the Cumans player, but it's still quite solid, and Sicilians are a very good late-game civ themselves. You do have your infantry units taking a lot less bonus damage, which can be nice. Donjons can be nice, and of course, fully upgraded Siege Onager, Siege Rams, nothing to complain about there.
Yep, they will be a great pushing civ, because once you push, you can start doing donjons and kind of hold the location where you're pushing. And start making sergeants then and more donjons. And also, as you said, the Siege Onager. And halbs, too.
Yeah. Sicilians, I think, they're so much better than they used to be. Like, they actually feel like a pretty decent, well-rounded civ these days.
It's a third range from JorDan, so it looks like he is indeed. He has Bodkin finished, gonna go for an Arb Siege play. So what options do the Shu have for cutting? If I recall, traction trebs can't actually cut trees.
Yes,
so
they
it's
can.
only going to be Onager. Oh, they can? Really?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I was wrong about that. They can cut trees then. So you make a traction treb and you cut right away. You don't even need to wait for the Onager upgrade.
Yes, they are very slow and inaccurate, though, so it isn't like... It's not an ideal cutting option, but it is there. That said, there are a lot of trees in the way that you have to get through here for JorDan, so it's still going to be plenty of time here for Margugu to defend. He's getting a fortified wall in, and that is going to be buying more time here for Cool Cat, as Motastic is saying in the chat, who is himself a seasoned RF player. Humans are not going to love dealing with Sicilians if it gets to that.
No, they are not. The Sicilian Siege Onagers will be better, and they'll have great halbs for using against the Kuman Paladins.
Yeah, and if it gets to, like, Halb v Halb, mixing in a few Sergeants can be absolutely devastating, as Halbs just don't do anything against Sergeants.
Big Palisade delete on the right, as the Crocs is trying to move forward with a rocket cart. We'll get a Mangonel betrayed.
It is not a play all five.
Wall.
It's a best of three. Play all three.
It's a play all three. Oop, I need to update my in-game scoreboard. Sorry about that. Play all three.
All right, Nia's coming in with castle number 2. The Crocs coming in with castle number 1. Armenians are kind of a weird civ. Composite bowmen can be very good. I forget what buff they got. They got an HP buff, I believe.
Yeah, they got more HP.
Yeah, so...
And now the traction shrubs are out, but dealing with the fortified walls from Margugu, and Margugu wisely going all the way to the edge of the map, so there's nowhere he can be cut right now. He's walling the entire forest.
Yeah, so good play there from Margugu. Certainly not looking like he's rusty or is incapable of supporting his team in the way he needs to, so good on him so far. And it's going to be a very slow bit of sledding here for JorDan. He is sledding down the world's smallest incline as he's going to be trying to get through all those walls.
He'll get through eventually. I think one of the keys for the shoe is that you can get the crossbow arb out early to try to stop rewalling. But that one watchtower for Margugu kept the archers away enough that he was able to get enough of his walls completed by the time the upgrades came in, or the army came out.
Yeah, and right now is the timing advantage that you're looking for Team JorDan. Sitaux is going to be getting his soon-to-be paladins up and rolling. Then 165 eco units. Obviously, you'll cut that down relatively soon. You don't need 54 vills on wood for that sort of army composition, as you have a bit of a pause. But it just feels like the more the time passes, the better it's going to be for these two pockets here on Team Sitaux.
Yeah, and we have a forward siege workshop for Sitaux trying to push up the middle, but that's already fortified walled by Margugu. So that might mean there has to be some type of onager cut there too. It's all the paladin stables though are up to the north. He's got 6 stables, and he is now ready to start spamming cav. He's 21 seconds away from imp, and maybe a bit closer than Quillcat is to getting the halbs out. But that timing window is going to be so important. He needs to get through the walls. Margugu's walling behind this.
I wonder, is there an argument to be made
eco
for opening Step Lancers and then going into Paladins later? Especially if you're trying to hit a timing like this. I mean, I'm sure people have tried it. But it feels like it'd be worth considering, especially with Step Husbandry.
Maybe there is if you have a castle and Step Husbandry and you can really step up your production right away.
But yeah, no castle obviously means that that is not going to be an option, and we will still have paladins, and it's still going to be very good from the Cumans. Cheap stables and faster moving paladins, not at all bad. Meanwhile, it's going to be a skirmisher-based defense here for Sitaux, which is going to be, it would be terrible against Korean's late game, but because Green's army is basically non-existent right now, you'll have plenty of time to hold the line with your tanky Mapuche skirmishers.
Yeah, and it feels like Terz's boom has just been significantly better than the Crox's boom. So he should have the early imp advantage if they're going to hold and then try to push. Because right now it's just composite bowman Trebs on the right.
Yeah, around 4,000 more resources for Terz in this game. And yes, Mapuche do not get fortified wall. None of the new civs from South America got fortified wall.
Yep. Also, it is very stormy here at Ornlu, and I just saw my lights flash. So there's a chance my power goes out. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'll definitely hope that doesn't happen. But we shall press onward and just hope that everything is going to be okay here for T West. As we are now getting to Imperial Age and the meat and potatoes of this game, as the Mamelukes are also starting to come out for Terz.
Yeah. So are there graphics for fortified walls for these civs, even though they don't get them?
Yeah, Incas have them.
Oh, the Inca have them, okay. The new civs just don't. Gotcha.
They actually look really nice. But, see here, the Trebuchets, not the best here at punching through these walls quickly. And Team Sitaux, they're ahead by around 50-plus eco units. And they've got time, man, to get to their deadly late game.
Yeah, Margugu doing a great job of walling just what he needs to do. And keeping everything out.
Cavaliers are coming in.
Castle could go down, though.
It could.
Castle could go down.
I mean, you never want that, but you're not super reliant on your castles as the Sicilians. I mean, yeah, you do need them for Trebs, but being able to train sergeants at your donjons still is very important.
Importantly, though, the castle's down. That means the onagers can come forward and cut some trees. And it's not just traction Trebs now. Margugu has to wall immediately.
Yep. Onager is much more efficient there at actually cutting through large swaths of forest.
They need to cut, though. It's open.
It's tricky.
The pathing's not working. It's almost open. They're close to getting in.
But now, T-West, the Donjon upgrades are going to start to come in, and that is going to be so good at buying time. But there isn't a whole lot here just yet as the Cavalier is storming in. This is the best opportunity here for Team JorDan.
Mamluks are there. Mamluks are there. Turs realized what was going on. He sent the Mamluks over to counter the Cavaliers. Chixo is trying to get in, but he's re-walled out by a few more Vills. They got to keep Onager cutting even farther and keep focusing on those Vills. JorDan has a lot of Arbs that are out here shooting houses instead of keeping the passage open. And the Cavaliers are getting destroyed by the Mamluks. Oh, this raid is not going to do too much.
No elite
the
quite yet.
They are split up. But now you're looking at an eco that has Donjons in it. Defended by Mamluks.
Oh,
but it's still a lot of pressure, and Margugu's kind of dying here.
It's definitely not ideal for him. 92 villagers only. The rest of his team is doing quite well in that regard. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have heavy rocket carts in with an extra range already from Siege Engineers, I think. Yeah, no Shinkichon just yet. But the bombards here from Turs. Turs having a really tough job. He needs to defend against the rocket carts from one side and also help clean up all of the Cavalier on the other side.
Yep, and Margugu doing everything he can to wall. Just trying to ignore those Cavaliers in the north of his eco. He's still on 91 Vills, and he's managing to reboom. He ran Vills over to the side, and he's going to be rebooming over to the east of Cool Cat's base. As the push in the southeast still isn't really going anywhere. Sir, the Crocs is looking for some great Onager shots. But he still has Koreans, and Koreans are very, very scary.
But the Slingers are going to start to come in T-West. They have the extra HP as the Mapuche, and he's getting Butul Mapu right now, which does benefit his teammates, remember. And they get a nice little bit of a discount on the Mamelukes.
Team Castle unique units and Bolus Riders are discounted. Ooh, that's actually super nice if you have Mamelukes.
Yes, it is.
Cheap.
I don't think you'll complain about a discount to Mamelukes, as right now the Paladins are just going to be walking into the meat grinder. And JorDan doesn't have a good enough eco to get the numbers of Arbs and Siege you need to really challenge this. And now the Donjons are in, they benefit from hoardings, and they just take forever to go down.
Forever, but JorDan has a lot of traction tribes. What does he have, 9? Oh, do the Shu have siege rams? What does their ram look like? They do. I mean, that's expensive for his eco, right? But you kind of want rams at some point just to clear through the walls. Because the walls with one-tile gaps here and there are going to cause traffic jams everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big issue, especially when your ally is making paladins like that. And yet, we're in kind of a weird situation. We have Melon coming in too, which is going to be that pass-through damage. That's going to help the Slingers a lot against the low armor of the composite bowmen. And of course, they're already very good against the Fire Lancers anyway. So, you're starting to get to a situation more when you have Sitaux starting to come online at 180 or so population.
Yeah, JorDan's team's still with a slight score lead. And I mean, they have done a lot of damage, but I feel like the damage has been mostly to Margugu and not as much to the pockets. And over time, that Kuman eco boost is going to start losing the early effectiveness that it had.
Oh, that is a fine hit indeed, ×2 from the Siege Onager of Cool Cat. JorDan not paying attention when he needs to. The Mamelukes are going to pounce onto the traction trebs. And this is not at all what Team JorDan is looking for as Team Sitaux takes a big pop lead.
A band of score lead, the Onager shot flipped the score. And the traction shrubs are all going down. And JorDan on only 90 Vills, Nial's on 86, both flanks struggling with their economy. And it's crazy, JorDan's actually behind Margugu in terms of eco. And Margugu as the Aztecs doesn't even need to do all that much, as they're still trying to cut and get in. Maybe this is an opportunity, though, if they can hold this choke point. There's a castle there already, but hold this choke point with the Paladins and try to stop the early trade.
Yeah, I mean, Shixo's trying to do what he can, and of course, splitting up the Paladins all among the resources of your opponent is one way to try and keep your team afloat. Because, I mean, this push from the south, it is slowly working. You're having Yellow do what he can here, and those are some very good bombard cannon hits onto the trebuchets, but you just don't have the civs here to deal with the Koreans.
Maybe one thing, they are pushing next to the pond now, which on the one hand gives Sitaux access to the catapult galleons to defend.
What an amazing unit.
On the other hand, if the pond is pushed, that's a lot of Sitau's eco down. And now, wait, Margugu's reboom was found by the Paladin. Shixo found Margugu. His team takes the score lead again. Margugu had clicked up to Imp. He was just at over 100 vils. Now he's down to 85 again. All of a sudden, Margugu's dying again. Polecat's losing eco too.
This is certainly a very interesting game. Number 1 of the tournament. Step Husbandry coming in for Cyan. Perhaps going to need to go for a bit of a lower gold option until the trade is fully up and running, as he's only on 13 trade cards right now. And the Slingers are doing an okay job of holding the line, but you're still going to run into the issue here where, again, it's Koreans post-Imp. Mamluks are great, but the towers are getting entrenched.
Yeah, the towers with such long range will keep the Mamluks away to the point that they can't really fight anything.
And the Bombards are getting sniped by the Trebuchets of Niaz, so he's certainly doing what he needs to right there. And we have the eco of Team JorDan now actually with the advantage. They've been behind basically all game, but now everybody at least at 110 vils, and that's enough to make your armies work at this stage.
Yeah, and this Paladin raid has been amazing at clearing out Polecat's eco too. Yeah, the Mamluks are there, but Turris has had to play both sides now, and he hasn't had the Mamluks to clean the Paladins.
We are looking at 135 eco units kills here for Shixo. He is absolutely doing what he needs to right there as the Cuban pocket. Just as you can't be running those Paladins into the meat grinder. You know, they had to utilize their mobility, especially with the Cumans. And we have some monks thrown in here as well. Of course, Saracens do have all the monastery upgrades, but not actually researched just yet, as we have our fully operational battle ferrets researched for Niaz.
Yep, that'll be the extra HP for the infantry for the Armenians. And if he needs to start spamming some halbs, he can. But kind of tricky to use that anyway when the slingers are present. I think what they're doing so far is good, but they're kind of stalled up by the catapults on the pond. It's so weird seeing them shoot when the catapult doesn't animate. I think every other mangonel or trebuchet that shoots a projectile as a catapult is animated. This isn't. It's just...
It feels like it was a unit that was tacked on at the last minute and didn't have a lot of effort put into it. Oh dear.
Oh, man.
But the trebuchets are still coming forward, still missing some upgrades here as Turs. I mean, Saracens have so many expensive upgrades, so you don't have counterweights in yet. You don't have Heresy and Faith to deal with the enemy monks. So you still have a little bit of a window where your army is not quite at full strength as you add there. Just as I say that, counterweights is coming in.
Yeah, counterweight. It's extra damage for the Trebs and the Siege Onagers.
Yep. And it's
But
multiplicative.
no, it's
so
not like...
It works for both the base damage and the bonus damage.
Yep. Yeah, and it's not like torsion engines, though. You don't get more splash damage. It's the same radius, just more damage within the radius.
Yeah, it's just, you know, Torsion Engines deals the same damage to more units, and Counterweights does more damage to the same number of units.
So Margugu's still surviving. He's back up to 115 vils. And Aztecs are always a tricky civ to reboom with. Yes, you have the very clear just go monks option, but you don't have a great trash option. Your skirms, you have it ladle, but you miss the final armor. You only get pikemen. You don't have light cav. And your reboom can take a bit longer because of that, because you're so reliant on getting your trade going for gold.
Yeah, it's a very tricky civ to make work here in these late stages of the game. JorDan's back up to 10 traction trebs. He's got his arbs here as well. And yeah, he just got his bolt magazine upgrade, so they do a bunch more damage as well. And Margugu is, you know, he's done such a good job of defending in general, but we're getting to the point when everyone else is getting to 200 population, and you just can't have a player who's down all the way at 120 or so.
Yeah, the key was that second Paladin raid that hit his reboom. When he had around 100 to 10 vils, and then went back down to 80. Now he's back up to 120, but that was a roller coaster in his eco population.
And we actually have the Men-at-Arms upgrade coming in here for the Crocs, which is kind of interesting. Oh, we have the Korean Kipchucks!
Men-at-Arms just has to be a misclick, right?
I mean, your allies Armenians, you don't need more swordsmen. But no Shinkichan, I think, is definitely a big mistake. I mean, it's like almost a 50% damage increase to your rocket carts. It's absurd. And it's 1 extra range.
And what's chat saying? Cool Cat. Yeah, Cool Cat is floating gold. No one else on his team has gold. So maybe he does need to start slinging, especially if he's thinking about halves to counter the paladins, which he is doing.
Yeah, I mean, the donjons are very good at slowing things down, but eventually this huge mass of siege units from Team JorDan will punch through that. They have the army value lead, and as the Mamelukes have been obliged to spend more time on this eastern front, means that Margugu is simply getting even more dead as Team JorDan, now with a pretty firm control of this western portion of the map.
Yeah, so as you said, those Korean Kipchaks. I'll have 1 round of those. I guess you'll have them for every castle now, right?
Yeah.
Alright, every time the Koreans build a castle, they can make more Kipchaks. But this feels like it's kind of stalled out here on the right, and the key, I think, is just having enough of a push to keep the Mamluks busy, so Turks can't help the other side. And now, Sitaux, he's cutting, we're getting a forward castle from JorDan, and they're almost here to hit the pond from Cool Cat.
Yeah, and of course, just not able to run with that economy. It isn't ideal. We have 7 cannon galleons queued up here for Cool Cat. No elite cannon galleon, unfortunately, for the Sicilians. But this just feels like it's such a tough spot. Eagle Warrior's not really going to be that impressive of a unit at this stage in the game.
Yep. And again, no garrisoning of the fishing ships. And the Onagers aren't even going to cut fully. They're just going to leave a tree or two. But the cannon galleon defense defends the fish.
It'll work in the short run. Cannon galleons do at least one-shot the onagers. But now we have Coiled Serpent Array coming in. And do you think that JorDan knows that Gambeson's does not affect the White Feather cards?
I don't think... Well, it's a unique unit, right?
Yeah.
But White Feather Guards gain additional HP when near each other. And Spearman Line. Does that work with the cross-pollination of Spearman Line and White Feather Guards? They boost each other?
Yes, it's like the Monaspa and regular Nightline.
Oh, Monaspas affect the regular knights? I didn't even remember that.
No, it's the other way around. The regular knights affect the Monaspa.
Oh, okay. I was like, Georgian knights with more HP. I feel like that's something I would have known.
Yeah, no, other way around.
All right.
Anyway,
So
Team
it's
JorDan
slowly
continuing to
pushing.
push.
And yeah, Sitaux even getting some paladins over on the right, starting to hit Turs' economy. Now, Margugu's up to 142 vills, but then it's the question, if you're the Aztecs, you really don't have a trade line. What do you do? He's trying to do some eagles. That's maybe Cool Cat could sling him some gold, but I don't think eagles are going to be all that helpful against paladins. Or White Feather Guards,
certainly not.
for that matter.
And we're just getting to the point where you're at 12 traction trebs as JorDan, and there really isn't a whole lot that's going to be stopping them anytime soon. You have some ARBs there to support the paladins, of course. There is Meat Shield, but if you get some SO hits on them, that's always something.
Yeah, and in some sense, it feels like Mamluk Siege Onager should be better than all of this. But you're not going to get to that. The eco isn't in a spot for it, and JorDan will take game number 1 with his team over Sitau's team. Margugu, I think the key moment was that raid on Margugu's reboom, not letting him get back into the game in time. And, well, what we thought was maybe a really good pocket combination of Saracen Sicilians couldn't quite hold up to the Paladin raids disrupting the eco, and then just the strength of the Koreans and their towers able to hold the push on the right enough that the Paladins could keep raiding.
Yeah, there was definitely a big issue where JorDan was able to be a lot more effective as the flank with Shu in the late game than with Mapuche. Like, Mapuche just did not add anywhere near enough, and they got walled so hard by Koreans that it didn't really matter how well Sitaux did, because there just isn't anything you can do against this wall of Korean towers and rocket carts and bombard cannons. Whereas JorDan was able to make that big decisive push with the traction trebs after the great raid from Sitaux.
Yeah, between towers and foundations, I'm seeing 28 Korean keeps on one screen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, that was a nice game there. We have 314 kills for Sitaux as the Kumans. Only 17 kills from Margugu. So, well, yeah, once Margugu died, he was not able to get back into the game. And that's... Even with Sitaux against Niaz, Sitaux still had about 150 more kills. So you can survive as long as you're getting more kills. But when you have one player who isn't really getting a military contribution, over time you start losing all the fights.
Yeah, it's definitely was a tricky situation there, but well done for Team JorDan, and this is a play all three, and every single win is going to matter a lot.
Yep, it is a group stage. We have several rounds of the group stage and then a playoff stage afterwards. This is our very first set. And let me grab these civs. So that was Koreans, Cumans, Armenians, and Shu winning against Saracens, Mapuche, Aztecs, and Sicilians. Right. And chat, I'll do what I can to keep ads between games and not during games, but since the games are long, that might not always be possible. Reminder, you can just check out the YouTube stream too if you want to see without the ads popping up. YouTube chat, where's the map draft? Where's the map draft? We only have a Civ draft.
I want to know what map we're playing next to West.
It might be Rage Forest.
Joke's on you! It's actually Atacama.
It's actually what's that map? I'm trying to think of the name. The one where you had the piles of wood and it was a nomad start.
Oh, Al Samim.
That's it. Yeah.
What is Zero Space?
It's a StarCraft clone, basically. It's a new RTS.
Oh, okay. I see Viper's playing it, and Babe's stream says he's playing it later.
Oh yeah, it's a early access thing right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just started their early access yesterday. It's attempting to be better than Stormgate.
Did Stormgate ever release?
I don't know.
And Ren, thank you for
Ren
the sub to
17.
T-West.
Alright, so in the lobby for the next game. And getting you ready to go.
I will actually be right back. I'm going to get some more coffee.
Alright, get that coffee, Ornlu. Sounds like a scandal? Stormgate? Yeah, I think it's actually pretty hard to get a sci-fi RTS game if you don't have an existing franchise. Well, like a Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds might get some traction. But a historical RTS, I think, is a lot easier because everyone will go play a historical RTS. Okay, they turned off the spectator delay, so Ornlu needs to get his coffee fast. We're going to be hopping right into this. And here we are, lovely trees in the middle of Black Forest, as well as game number 2. Let me make sure that the JorDan's team on the scoreboard will be in blue. And Sitau's team to the east, JorDan's team to the west. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, 8 pawns. 2 of them are conjoined. Turs has 3 pawns. Lake Ree. Okay, makes sense. Also, see, I leave this up to the admins to determine if they're going to call a restart or not. But Turs has 3 pawns versus every player on the other team getting 1 pond. Oh, this is crazy. This is the type of map that I can understand if they don't want to have it in a tournament, but is a lot of fun to have if you get it in a lobby. Oh my god, imagine the fish boom here. See if there's a discussion. Yeah, okay, they're gonna restart. Pawns were joined together. So we'll restart that. Ornlu can get his coffee. One day we'll have the technology to make a Black Forest map that doesn't have bugs, but the technology really isn't there right now.
Hello.
Hello, Ornlu. You missed a lake restart.
Oh boy.
We had an 8-pond map, but Turs had 3 ponds, 2 of which were combined together.
Oh wow.
Yep. And also we have a good team of admins. We have Sensar, Teutonic Tanks, Modri, and Arjiden. Each one of them is going to be adminning a set, and they'll be in charge of calling the lake or unfair map restarts
Oh, that sounds quite fair.
or adjudicating those situations. Maybe we should put the 4 of them in a team and make them play a game of Rage Forest, the admin team.
Oh, they'd be pretty good.
Yeah, they would. I like how the dashboard right now, it says, since they're in the lobby picking teams. Oh, never mind. It started. They started too fast. I was going to say it says 1v2, v3, v4.
Well, that's an interesting one. And
Wait, the admins of the last Rage Forest? I do not remember. Probably something similar. Oh, we have another pause. What's the pause? 1, 2. Oh, are they going to do another lake re because the Toes Lake is super awkward? might.
Looks okay. I think. Wait, re again. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's going to be another lake restart. But yeah, fair enough. This one is this is kind of a neutral lake. It's kind of a 2v1 with a neutral lake. So yeah, that's a fair restart. Technically, that is on Sitau's team's side. But usually if there's a lake that's ambiguously far forward in a way that makes it unfair, we'll still do a restart.
Yeah, I mean, you want to, especially with so few games, you really want to, make sure that the maps are fair enough.
Yep, and that's another reason we're not having a spectator delay, so that the admins will be able to see things immediately and not need to wait 2 minutes or need to look at point of views of the players to judge the maps. Ornlu, can you join me on my crusade that spectator delay for tournaments is universally a bad idea?
Depends on what the tournament is.
Doesn't matter, just a bad idea.
I don't think World's Edge is going to be a fan of not having spectator delay. What with, competitive integrity concerns and all that.
It doesn't stop cheating at all.
I don't know. Not my area of expertise.
The thing is, we have all the players in Discord channels and can have them share their point of view. I think it gets really hard to do anything nefarious with that setup. All right, it looks like we have a fair game that is a very weird pond there for Team Sitaux, but it's on their side of the map clearly, so I think this is good to go. We can have, and this is a situation where you would have Turs go boom in Margugu's pond, and Margugu can go to that pond to the west if he needs to.
Oh, yes, I had only just loaded into the game. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but I think it's going to work out just fine. As we do have, in this version, we actually have 3 choke points again, sort of. But they're pretty far away. So very sort of spider-webby sorts of pathways through the forest.
Yeah, and we'll have an X in the middle from Turs saying wall that or be careful, because this is a super open map for the front of Shixo's base, but Margugu kind of has 2 passages he needs to take care of, as immediately Margugu will be fighting JorDan. Margugu is the Maya, so he does start with that extra Vil and does Loom right away, gets you off to a good Vil fight start. It'll be Maya versus Vikings.
Yeah, interesting matchup there as the 2 of the weakest civs on RF, so perhaps both teams wanting to save some of their best civs for the final game. Even the Boar getting in on the action here. Going to be adding in a lot of extra damage, actually. That's going to be a dead Vil for JorDan.
JorDan shot the Boar, and the Boar showed no mercy to his villager. And that's actually horrible, because now Margugu should win this walling fight. And that one last tile of wall, He could maybe get it down. Margu's going to go for the scout.
Well,
And
I mean,
Shikso's
to be
scout could
fair,
go
if
down
someone
too.
shot you with an arrow, would you show mercy T West? Yeah, it's a very awkward situation here. Jordan gonna have to fall back just a little bit. Meanwhile, the other side really doesn't seem to be either player bothering to Vil fight just because it is so open and both players have forward pawns. This is likely just gonna be fast feudal aggression.
Yeah, this is likely going to be both players completely ignoring the pawns and not docking because they're so far forward and they both realize they're going to basically be playing Arabia this side. And the question then is, how do the pockets react? Do they go scouts or will they go FC maybe into knights or forward workshops or something to try to assist the flank?
Yeah, there are plenty of different options there. It probably should be something in at least the semi-aggressive family of builds, as your ally is going to need the support quite early on. But of course, he has proven us wrong immediately. Going to be dropping the dock anyway here as the Vietnamese.
Okay, interesting. Vietnamese means the Japanese pocket. The Japanese player, of course, will be doing a fish boom. Even if you want to go feudal and make scouts, you're still fish booming along with the build.
Yeah, that's still a definite no-brainer. And I gotta say, T-West, is Team Jordan just sacking the civs here? This is not an especially strong lineup of civs. Burgundian pocket? I mean, like, the eco is going to be great. But you have no siege onagers here. I don't know. Yep. Are you there, T-West? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Panic! Panic! The storm got him. Everybody, can we get some F's in chat to remember our dear friend T West? The lovely man, the map scripter, the caster that he is. He will not be forgotten. Neither will these two militia here from Sitaux, as they are going to disrupt the late attempt of Niaz to wall. Oh man, that is a dead villager, and that wall is not going to last very long whatsoever. Hopefully TOS will be back soon, guys. Quite unfortunate there for him, but yeah, no loom. Those vills are getting wrecked-arenoed. And Sitaux, not bothering with the dock, not playing greedy. He is just going out at it, and he's going to try and bring that early pressure there to Sitaux. Meanwhile, Crocs himself is just fish booming. He's not going to be up fast. Same here for Shikso, who is also fish booming. Whereas on this side, you only have one player fish booming so far, and that's Turs as the Ethiopians. Let me see, is TUS? Yeah, TUS isn't on the call anymore either. RIP. I think he can just rejoin if he gets his power back on or something. I don't know. Regardless. Taking, even a wolf joining in on the party. Taking a quick look at the Civ matchups. My point was that the Civs should be a lot better for Team Sitaux. Italian versus Vietnamese flank. Both are going to fish boom. Vietnamese are the better anti-archer civ, but both civs still have some pretty good options.
All right, hello, Ornlu.
Oh, hey! There you are.
Yeah, that was my power went out.
Yep, I figured.
Let me restart everything. I need to rejoin the game. What did I miss, Ornlu?
Just more Vil fighting on the east side of the map. Militia getting some value against Niaz, but nothing too game deciding. Lots of Vils dying.
Alright, restarting the game. We're back. Hopefully we're back on YouTube too. Let's see, my browser tabs will reopen. That was a weird one because my light stayed on, but my PC just turned off.
I guess your PC required more energy than the lights.
I guess so. Now my draft is very slowly loading in. But I think we're back.
Anyway, as I was saying when you met your unfortunate demise, it feels like Team JorDan are happy to play with some very low-tier Civ picks. As, I mean, the pocket of Burgundian and Japanese feels so much worse than Franks plus Ethiopians.
And apologies, Twitch is going to play an ad because I had to restart the stream. So we're just going to speed up and get caught up to real time. As we should be back into the game. We're loading in.
Oh, nice snag there from Sitaux, who's continuing this pressure. We have walls. We have both players wall each other into the cage match. It is time to rumble. Both players, like, the flanks are just Vil fighting like crazy, which is going to mean the pocket civs and strategies are going to be that much more important. Now, what can be said here for Team JorDan's pockets is that Burgundians and Japanese with the fish boom are two of the best civs economically. Their ecos are going to be amazing. But militarily, they're just not going to keep up with Ethiopians and Franks, so chances are we're going to have Team JorDan wanting to end this one fast.
All right, so I'm just getting caught up. I'm seeing that Sitaux is going for a bit of a drush on his side. There's some big Vils, big Vil fights between JorDan and Margugu on the right by those boars. And some very forward walls from Margugu, but probably hard to maintain them. So this is going to be one of those Swiss cheese super aggressive Black Forest maps. And the advantage now for Team JorDan is that both of their pockets have pawns.
Oh, I think I need to re-knock. Oh, I think I need to recombine the chat to
re-knock again.
I don't have the option to knock for some reason.
Okay. Because we're already in the collaboration. Do you just have a...
I just have to hit the start sharing chat button again.
Yeah. There we go. Alright, I think I'm up to real time. We have a galley for Sitaux on his pond, a tower rush for Niaz. And galley snipes off the Vil.
Team JorDan's eco is looking really, really, really good. We have 15 fishing ships, and that really does represent most of the Vil difference. 3 and 7 respectively on the other side, but Team JorDan has the good economy.
Yeah, and maybe Cool Cat would have had an option to boom in that far away pond. He could have sent a Vil there early on to just try to get the dock created. It would have had to wall out some wolves, but would have been possible for him. The Franks, though, a civ with a farming bonus, so if you're going to have a civ that ignores a pond as a pocket, maybe Franks are one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like fish booming is so powerful that even if you're poles, you don't use your full Varki, you just fish boom anyway. But the scouts are here from Cool Cat, and he is making that damage happen in the way that he needs to early on, as poor Niaz is not having a great day.
No, I'm looking at those berries. They don't have any Vils. I'm looking at the TC. There are no Vils under the TC. Niaz just has all the Vils forward on this tower fight, and he is not going to have a good economy. But at the same time, Sitau's investing into archers. He's investing into this fight too. And if the Crocs can just get a good Japanese fish boom, he should be pretty far ahead of Cool Cat eventually as in the pocket position in his boom. Especially since he's up to the Castle Age now, and Cool Cat is doing a workshop in Rams.
Yeah, we will have Light Cav coming in here for the Crocs. Of course, Japanese can do just fine there early on. Granny Pumpkin says Japanese pocket is top 5. Are they that
With a fish
good of
boom, I'd say.
With a fish boom?
Yeah, Yasama Towers and Halbs.
They are very good. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad, but couldn't Ethiopians still have much stronger siege to offer?
Ethiopians for Turs? Yeah, but you're going to have to deal with the fact that the Japanese eco has the fish boom early on, and will be pushing earlier, and then has the towers up. So it's going to be hard to use your siege onagers.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very tricky civ to... Wait, Niaz just got kicked? What?
Not that I think they're just saying he's basically dead.
Oh, well, yeah, he's having a real bad go.
I think he got kicked from the lobby.
It's like, what the heck?
I mean, this is maybe a situation where you consider running your Vils, but then you give up the pond.
Yeah, I don't think you're quite there just yet. I think the siege really needs to be getting involved towards your town center before you're talking about running villagers.
Oh, and Chixo's not walled. Ornlu, Chixo's not walled, and now Margugu and Turs can push in.
Wait, Chixo...
And he's got a pond.
Oh yeah, he's only walled a little bit with the palisades to the north, so you have to be extra careful. Light Cav still going to be running amok. And behind this, it's not like the eco for Cool Cat is as good as the Crocs. Of course, not going to be comparable to a Japanese fish boom, but it's not bad. He's on 3 TCs, he's getting those farms down, and he's been able to contribute a ton with that pressure.
Yeah, now we have Knights from the Crocs, and I think that the Crocs needs Niaz to delete a Palisade wall because the Knight is running over somewhere to the east, and I don't think he can get through the gate. I don't know where he's going. Maybe he's chasing the light cav.
And
Sitaux with some idle vills trying to micro with the Flemish militia at the front. There is a villager who is not walled in from Turs.
Oh.
Can maybe get a quick wall down. The other vill's not walled either, but the monastery looks like it'll go up. A nice Ethiopian rock church.
Yeah, it looks super nice. But yeah, those Flemish militia are just such an insane unit these days. It's amazing how Burgundians went from being like a bottom tier civ on anything other than close maps to being just very good basically everywhere because of Flemish militia.
Well, at least it's better than when you click the button for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 TCs up for JorDan.
And that is going to be very important, of course, as the Vikings to get that big old boom going. But when it comes to Vikings versus Mayans, the chances of either civ really doing a ton to help their allies militarily in the late game is fairly low. Which is probably why both players were relatively happy to go for a big Vil fight. It's because it's not like their civs are especially essential.
Well, I mean, Maya can go for plumed archers. Those are always scary.
And you would be going plumed archers against a team with no siege onagers, which is certainly very relevant.
Yep, and then on the other side, now we're going to have a 5 TC boom from Cool Cat, really committing to the economy and to the boom.
Yeah. And again, he's now at pace with green in terms of eco units. Now again, the resources are still heavily in favor of the Crocs, but it's one of those situations where because you were able to get so much damage, it's worth having like a 15% worse economy to have an opposing flank who is like 80% dead. Meanwhile, on the flippity flip, 60 eco units here for Sitaux versus the 70 here for Turs. So obviously, Sitaux's been under a little bit of pressure, lost 4 units. Still a good job from Turs economically. Uh-oh. 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 Panic! Part 2. Oh, T-West is typing. Oh, now T-West's mic stopped. Okay. Maybe T-West's viewers can still hear, I guess. Hopefully they can still hear me. Alright, Castle Age about to be in here from red. And again, it's all been about this side for Team Sitaux that's been dominating. Rox is here with his cavalry, which, again, it's not bad. Can't hear me? Oh, dear. But, I mean, I guess it's enough to keep his ally alive for the time being. And again, there is always something to be set up.
Back.
Oh, man. Again, Niaz has not had to migrate. There is absolutely value in that. He still even has his little bit of a fish boom going, which is just, again, keeping him afloat.
That's what the ships do. They keep you afloat. You wouldn't want to be on a
unless they're a
sinking
sunken ship.
You don't want to be on one of those submarines exploring the Titanic.
No, definitely not. Nor do you want to be this forward monastery from Turs, as that got completely mopped up by the Flemish militia, which of course require no upgrades and almost no investment to clean up everything.
Yeah, so Ram push on the castle now, and Sitaux gets the castle up just in time as the Italians still have Genoese crossbowmen to deal with the Pockets Knights. That was honestly kind of a risky castle, but he does get it up in the end. And I'm just worried about Turs' boom now. He's on 109 vills. That's 20 clear of everyone else.
Yeah,
and
I mean, this is going to be getting
a strong pocket.
Pretty darn staggering. Now, Cyan is on his way up to Imperial Age, so in the short run, Sitaux is going to be able to do stuff, but he's adding in archery ranges as the Burgundians, and that just feels like it's not going to be as impressive as it needs to when you are beginning to be the fully boom pocket, because, like, what's JorDan going to be adding here as Vikings anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, you can go for hand cannoneers with the bonus attack as the Burgundians, but that takes a while because you need chemistry. Maybe you need chemistry anyway for your bombard cannon, so it doesn't matter that much, but it's not going to be super fast pressure. The only real other option would be skirms, but those are skirms.
And it's just not very exciting, right? It's not that sort of super powerful Imperial Age army that you're looking for Burgundians, who are in general a very good early Imperial Age civ with the fast paladins and the good eco to get you there faster than your opponent. But as it stands, it feels like Turs is, he's also up. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit slower. I mean, it's actually a fair bit slower, but it feels like he's going to be able to get towards that infantry siege combo that's just so deadly from Ethiopians.
Yeah, now the Genbo could even think about sniping off Crux's Vills. Crux is doing what he can. But it's just so smooth for the Italians to play Imp and Genbo, and then Cannon and Trib.
Yeah. I mean, especially with a bit of a pawn situation, Italian's just a really, really good civ in general. Now, Niaz is here with the sneak dock, which is pretty nifty. Forward Siege Workshop as well. So, he's being annoying, for sure. But
yeah, you guys got to be aware of Niaz doing something sneaky.
Yeah. And the lack of garrison does make things tricky. It's kind of weird because the garrisoning ability, it was important because fishing ships died so fast to hulks. But now we just have hulks with fishing ships that can't garrison, so the fishing ships are just going to die super fast no matter what.
Yeah, the fish traps don't die anymore, though, because those still have 250 HP. It's the fishing ships that are a bit more fragile now. The opposite of the past, where in the past you'd attack the fish traps because they're more expensive and more fragile. But now they're a bit tankier. Look at that fish trap where the Flemish militia is for in Turs' fish boom. He's fishing the road.
Well, it's a road fish. But yeah, fish traps being more tanky is an understatement, as they now have 5 times the HP and 1/1 armor.
So now we have the dueling castles on the left. Niaz and Sitaux, but Sitau's imp, and he's got the Trebs popping. So that castle getting hit, and also the knights coming in from Coolcat. They're trying to deny Crocs from getting a castle up 98.24%, 99.02, or 99.2, and that is a doubt castle from the Crux, as he will not finish it, and I don't think he has any more forward vills to send to it.
No, and it's going to be such a long way to get there. That is not at all what you're looking for as the Crocs. Now, in general, the Japanese infantry is going to be very good against the Frank cavalry, so, I mean, you're going to have that going for you, which is nice. And we might even need to see, like, a little bit of a swap or something, but right now, you got the Halbs out on the side from Turs. Yes, they're not going to do well versus the hand cannoneers, but you are going to be working towards that siege for Ethiopians.
The doughtiest castle. Oh man, that is so close. He needs to get more vills there. He's got the vills on the way now, but it's only 2 vills. I mean, they only need one tap of that castle and they'll finish it.
And also Cap Ram in, interestingly.
There's the Paladin upgrade in for Coolcat. And yeah, he will get the castle. But by the time he starts it, the Trebs are already deployed for Sitaux.
The castle might not be up for very long, but right now, the timing advantage for Sitaux is very real. Bombard cannons are on the way, but you don't have the Onager upgrade in just yet, although having siege engineers will at least allow the mangonels to outrange the hand cannoneers. And Onager just now started, so I mean, it's going to be buying you some time, but right now, Sitaux knows he's got a window, and he's trying to make the most of it.
I'm just looking at those grouped up mangonels for Turs and thinking one well-placed Onager shot could destroy all 5 of them, or one well-placed bombard cannon shot.
Yeah. You have to be extremely careful there. That's why you're trying to play defensive, but the same goes both ways. Excellent micro here so far from Sitaux.
Oh, and Turs didn't get the attack grounds in the spots he needed them, and hand cannoneers destroy mangonels so they get the shots off. And he took down 3 of them right away.
Again, trying to leverage whatever advantage you can. The castle is starting to fall on the other side. Genoese crossbowmen are a good unit, but honestly, it might be better to try and switch into some hand cannoneers as... Oh, that's exactly what he's doing! Haha! As they're the much more direct counter to these Halbs that are gonna give the Paladins so much trouble.
Yeah, also, they do have Pyrotechnia for the, basically, Scorpion hand cannoneers. They pass through and do more damage. That's an option for the Italians. Capture Race doesn't show it properly, but it's there. Now, the Paladins are fighting Halbs, so they got the Genbo support behind them. I actually kind of like staying Genbos because they counter the Halbs, and they also counter anything else that might... It's like they counter more than the hand cannoneers.
But you don't have the production for
Maybe
it with
against
only...
Japanese, though, just straight for hand cannoneers, knowing it's going to be infantry is okay.
I mean, I feel like it's hand cannon, pure Technica hand cannoneer plus Frank Paladin feels like it's not something that's getting stopped anytime soon on this side of the map.
Now, at the same time, though, Sitaux feels like his push isn't going to get stopped anytime soon. There are some Condottieri there, actually, though. Wait, the Italians are on the team. That means it's Kondo time. And never mind, this will be stopped, as we'll have Condottieri and plumed archers coming forward. And that'll be devastating to this composition.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both forgot about the condos there for a moment, but yeah, it's not that there's anything special about Ethiopian condos. I mean, they just do normal condo things, but condos are what you need against an all-gunpowder army. It's why the unit exists. The bombard cannons are here with full upgrades. I think... I lied, they don't have torsion engines, but even so, this is trying to push back, and Sitaux looking like his team is going to be tying this up. Oh, the imp!
And even the...
Oh, Niaz's imp got canceled at like 90.
Well, there's the imp TC. So we've got a castle at 99%, an imp TC at 90% for Niaz. And does Niaz has more TCs, right? That wasn't his only TC. He's got TCs in the back now. He's going to restart imp. But yeah, it feels like this push can't be stopped. And the other push, which in the absence of the Condottieri, felt like was going very strong.
Yeah.
But that's the crazy strength of the Italians on Rage Forest, that not only are they a good flank civ in their own right, they give you the gunpowder combo to civs that usually wouldn't have something like that.
I mean, it's just gunpowder in general is very strong on Black Forest, and Forest condos just that sort of wild card thrown in that you don't need them every game, but it's, you know, the situations when you do need them, they are absolutely critical units, as that is going to be enough here for Turs to clean things up. The bombard cannons are going to be going to town here against the castle. Vineyards is always fun, but I don't think that's going to be the most important thing right now, as even the plumed archer numbers are climbing, because JorDan is just slinging.
Yup, and that's a rough thing to do if you're Vikings and you're slinging Burgundians, who, what do you do?
No, he's
it
slinging,
feels like, okay.
slinging Niaz.
Oh, he's slinging Niaz? Well, Niaz needs to sling. But
yeah.
I don't know what unit you go for as the Burgundians here. Your infantry are counted by the plumes. Your hand cannoneers are counted by the Condottieri.
And
then you probably don't want to be going for a paladin swap at this point when you have fairly weak paladins and lots of Italian halb civ for the Genbos, and then every civ is a halb civ other than that.
Yeah, it just doesn't really feel the greatest situation. Also, no last armor for the hand cannoneers means that plumed archers, who are already pretty good against hand cannoneers, are even more powerful against them. The bombard cannons are going to be good at buying you some time. We have some bombard towers coming in for Sitaux. And it just feels like a matter of time, though, despite the good overall eco numbers.
Although now we see some Yasama towers, and we have 9 Japanese keeps at a choke point. That'll kill some paladins real quick. That'll stall out this push for a moment, but the push will turn to the other side as there has been a breach through the walls, and now Sitaux, coming from the west, will march into Sitaux's base. And if Sitaux was having trouble dealing with a Condottieri already, now he has to deal with Genoese crossbowmen and paladins in his economy.
Yeah, that is tough. JorDan is going to start to make military, but he's still at, 193 eco units, and he's going to only be able to add Viking champions, which, I mean, they're not bad units, but they're certainly not going to be comparable to Frank Paladins.
No, they're not, and that feels like Sitaux is well on his way.
Oh, and the multitasking dropping
series.
a little bit there for Sitaux. Lost 3 bombards for free.
He's trying to do defensive bombard towers. I mean, great towers between the extra damage of the Burgundian towers and... Wait, did they get extra damage, right?
No, they don't get extra damage.
4. They don't?
No.
They're a gunpowder unit, though. They don't get extra damage?
There is nothing that says gunpowder unit that benefits bombard towers. They benefit from no gunpowder unit bonuses.
What?
Can I see the
But
message?
they
Of course I can.
they have gunpowder unit armor. Condottieri have an attack bonus against them.
Yes, but they don't actually benefit from any bonuses that say gunpowder units. It's not like
Honestly.
Spanish bombard towers attack faster. Not like Turk bombard towers have more HP.
Villagers build Spanish bombard towers faster.
Yes, you are technically correct. Well, Team
Well, a bit
Jordan
of
is
a
trying to hold right now,
pushback.
and they actually have a bit of a score lead. The issue is going to become trade very shortly, though, as their trade route's not going to be all that great.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the scores are so close to each other. It does feel like Niaz, after that sling, was able to boom back, get into Vietnamese Arbalests, and now actually they're pushing back. Such a great hold by all those towers and the choke point so they couldn't push through. And yeah, they went to the side, but that let Niaz get back into the game. There's some plumed archers coming from Argugu to deal with the Arbs as the Trebs are cleaned up almost. But important repairs from Sitaux on that castle.
There are 10 Genoese crossbowmen with 80 kills for Sitaux.
In that trade line.
Yeah,
Or in that
54 of
trade
them are
line.
eco units. That is pretty brutal. Team Jordan's eco numbers are plummeting off a cliff.
Not just in the trade line, but also in the fishing eco, too. There are no fishing ships left in that pond.
Yep.
And Jordan's trying to send champions to clear them. But even then, that's champions against an archer unit. That's not going to clear them right away. A couple more trade carts will go down.
Yeah, that
And
is
Shixo
super
has to
painful.
rebuild the fishing ships.
I mean, credit here for Team Jordan. They absolutely did yeoman's work of holding on for as long as they did, and that's even without a Britain's player. But it does feel like they're compositionally really struggling, and they're struggling as far as map control, too.
Yeah, the towers will buy them time, but it won't stop the bleeding forever.
Exactly. And yes, Bombard Towers do benefit from Arquebus, but that is the exact one exception. I knew someone would bring that up.
Oh, there we go. Arquebus.
Boy, Plumed Archer numbers are still climbing, and I mean, like I said, without any Siege Auditors, the Plumed Archers are still a very strong support unit.
Yeah, especially against the champions.
Yep.
An attack bonus against infantry, so they'll massacre the champions.
It is missing Thumb Ring, though. That's an easy one to forget if you're going for an Archer unique unit, so Margugu's going to need to remember to pick that one up.
Yeah, that's a tough one to remember because you don't really get an indication of it. You just have to notice your units shooting more slowly or click the archery range at some point.
Yeah, it's a very easy upgrade to overlook, but now Turs is supporting here with his Ethiopian Bombard cannons. He has 9 of them at the moment. He's also got the Onagers as well. He does have torsion engines in, and this push is just not going to be stopped. Big Paladin surround here, too.
Yeah, those torsion engine bombard cannons are crazy. And yeah, the paladins surrounding some champions, surrounding some skirms. Just don't want to fight under those towers, but that'll just slow down the push. Cool Cat even bringing a trade cart into the fight. That's an important trade cart there.
He has
Like,
assassins concealed in it.
Yeah, he's going to carry the French flag and put it on the hill.
Ah, there
Use
we
the
go.
Franks, of course. Oh, but he lost the trade cart. He's defeated, right?
Oh, yep. Oh, now you got to start it over. It's okay. Just run down to the southern Burgundian base with Constable Richemont and the trade cart and just debate with the good constable and win in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, do your transport ship speed run strat.
Yep.
Anyway, the push is now crazy with all those torsion engine bombard cannon. As we'll have a guard tower on the way for Turs 2, supplementing the push, and this army will just melt from Shixo, as will the buildings.
Yep. And honestly, credit to Margugu in this game as well, because, I mean, it was a rough early game with all the Vil fighting. Able to get the better end of it. Oh, just before a huge onager hit, the game ends.
That
The
would've been
rocks
nice,
are right
but-
there.
Yeah, credit to them for pushing through and taking advantage of the map too, I think, with that early push onto Shixo, and the absolutely right call to go for the Condottieri against the gunpowder push. And I guess in this situation, you kind of need to play Burgundians as the Paladin Civ, rather than as the gunpowder Civ, just seeing that Italians are on the other side.
Yeah, it's really tricky, I think, for them at that point, just because Team Sitaux did such a good job on the flank, and I really feel like the coordination between Sitaux and Cool Cat was very good and just knocking Niaz out of the game very early on.
Yep, and Jordan, most res collected is the Vikings. I guess he was focusing on slinging quite a bit. Would explain that.
Yeah, I mean, he had 190
Vikings-
eco units at one point.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings a lot harder to contribute late game when they don't have that obvious plumed archer option. Yeah, they have Arbs, they have champions, they have berserks, but those aren't really the power unit that you want. And oddly enough, plumed archers have good enough just overall stats that they're still useful. And they're fast enough you can position them even though you're still making them from the castles.
And that will be tying our series up at 1-1. There are only exactly enough civilizations available to draft as there are, games to play. So we know that the Civ lineup is going to be Portuguese, Slavs, Bulgarians, and Khitans versus Celts, Khmer, Miska, and Romans.
And hold on, I need to check my civs off again because they got reset when I lost my power. And yep, as you said, Sitaux will have Portuguese, Slavs, Bulgarians, Khitans. JorDan will have the very first picked Celts with Khmer, Muisca, and Romans. Celts versus Portuguese is the first pick. We talked about that earlier. Celts, one of the best pockets. One of the best Halboninger Civ. If we're really lucky, we'll see them played as a Paladin Civ, but that's never going to happen. The Portuguese, definitely a flank Civ for Sitaux.
Yeah, Portuguese are a very good flank Civ. I think the question is, how good is a good flank Civ relative to a good pocket Civ when the flank Civ is not specifically something like Britons or Turks or Bohemians?
Yep. And someone asking in my YouTube chat, these are not random teams, these are drafted teams. We had 16 captains, 2 of whom were JorDan and Sitaux. Each drafted 4 players for a total of 5 players on each team. And we have 16 total teams. So it's the classic Rage Forest is always a draft. People sign up and we have a draft for the teams. So it's not pre-made teams, it's captains doing a draft.
Yep. And that's always a sort of fun dynamic where you're seeing players play together who aren't necessarily normally teammates. So it's always a fun experience.
Yeah, so as chat's also pointing out, Scorpions.
Yep.
For Team JorDan, Romans, Khmer, Celts. The problem, though, is that they will be against a bombard cannon Civ in the Portuguese and a siege onager Civ in the Slavs and in the Bulgarians that could flatten the Scorpions with good siege.
And we'll have to see. So on the other side, you're going to have Khitan's Portuguese flanks and Slav Bulgarian pocket. Now, are Slavs as good as Celts? No, but they're still very good. Bulgarians versus Khmer? It's going to be interesting. And they instantly resign. Is there a Civ lineup you favor?
Why did they instantly resign?
No idea.
Did they just go out of sync somehow? That looks like a fine map as far as I can tell. That was a nice 8-pond map. Maybe a bit better distribution of the pawns for Sitau's team if we just look at it real quick. I didn't see anything written in the chat, so we'll just have a restart then. No, nothing looks bad or jumps out to me, but I'll see. Someone's adminning it.
And
Yeah, I'll just
hopefully
get
we'll
right
be
back
able to
into
get
the
right
lobby.
back into this. Everybody is in the lobby. Hopefully we'll be able to get into this soon.
So as you were saying, Slavs versus Celts. Now, Celts have the faster working lumberjacks, which for Black Forest is just a very obviously good bonus when there's so much wood you'll be chopping.
Yeah.
But the Slavs are a civ that really probably doesn't want what we just saw, an 8-pond map. I think they'd prefer, honestly, having a no-pond map so that the farming bonus kicks in more.
Yeah, the thing is,
Perhaps same with the Khmer.
fishing is so good that Slavs will have to abandon farming to fish, which is just so bizarre to me and unintuitive, but we will have to see, guys, as we are in our final game of the day, and it will be everything all tied up between Team Sitaux and Team JorDan.
Yes, and a fairly open map on the flanks, where we'll have 4 passages, but 2 of them basically go through each side. It'll be a 6 pond map, 3 per team. Ponds definitely better for Team Jordan, where they're by the pockets, rather than Sitaux, where they're by the flanks. And we'll have a good scout fight to open things up on the left side. Margugu sending Vils forward. Perhaps a map where you don't even bother fighting for the early walls, as neither player to the northeast is, and you're just going to play feudal, seeing how open it is. But indeed, a Vil fight for Jordan, as he's sending his Vils forward to meet Margugu right in the middle.
Well, the way that Sitaux played it in the last game is he actually went for a drush, and that was really, really effective, and he sent the villagers in afterward. So nothing in like the first couple minutes of the game, but still very early pressure, and that is one of the things that caught Niaz off guard early on. We'll have to see if it will be a similar approach here from Sitaux in this next game.
Yep, a couple of turkeys now being stolen by Sitaux, hoping them back to his TC. Also, we do have notably tapirs on the map on this South American theme. I did replace the javelinas with tapirs, so they have 340 food. We don't have those gens with the low H or the low food javelinas.
Yeah, no idea why they changed the javelina food to have less. Just seems weird to me, but yes, we have our tapirs instead of the javelinas, which only have 300 food. And we are still back to Vil fighting. And matchup-wise, Muisca versus Portuguese. Muisca can go for like a really good fast imp, and they have very good monks.
Yeah, thank you, Matza, for the follow. And this is now a tricky Vil fight, because both players are committing large numbers of Vils, and that's going to mean they're both Dark Age for a while. And I wonder if Turs is going to be able to get a fish boom behind this, if he can manage to get to the pond, and he's setting his Vil forward now. And now I think Margugu wants to ensure that Turs has a safe fish boom, because Shikso will have a safe fish boom. And it's both Slavs and Khmer now as the pockets, so going to be fishing in addition to potentially farming later.
I mean fishing instead of farming, because fish booming is so stupid.
You can always add in farms along with the fish boom, right? It depends on how well you're able to protect the fish or how risky it looks.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the case of Shikso, I don't think he needs to add in any farms for quite a while, as he is now going to be going to the dock. Her's already doing the exact same thing. And civ-wise here in the southwest, it's sort of two of the leftover civs. Neither Khitans nor Romans are especially good as either flank or pocket, so that's, again, another reason that both these guys are just Vil fighting like crazy.
Margugu lost the Vil there, trying to get one of the low HP Vils from Jordan. As a scout, gonna try to right-clicks the wrong Vil, though, from Cool Cat. And Jordan will try to wall in that Vil to keep her safe. Sending one Vil as a runner.
And we will have...
And I think Margugu should win this, though. And Jordan has... Oh, Jordan's sending the rest of his Vils. He's sending 6 more Vils. Jordan is committing to this.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jordan is ahead by a villager and a half or so definitely getting a little bit of the better end of those early fights. Celts, though, one of the best civs at fish booming just because they have a great wood bonus. So that's going to be very helpful, but nobody going to be in the pond just yet, as Niaz himself is going for a drush, so is Sitaux. So Niaz, reacting to his unfortunate situation in the last game, going to be playing much more aggressive here.
Yep, and Niaz's drush will be the Champy drush, as he is the Muisca.
Yep.
How do Champies do against Militia in the Dark Age if they end up fighting?
They lose.
They lose, okay. But they're faster, so they don't have to fight, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, they stop a Vil from walling, but now we have one Vil that'll likely go down to a drush here from Niaz. And Niaz does not have Loom as the drush comes in from Sitaux. Now, the Muisca is the settlement's heal nearby units and are cheaper, but they can't garrison like the Tupi can. And that drush from Sitaux might just head down to the pocket. Where the Crocs is the Celts might even need to think about doing Loom himself.
Yeah, this is not what you want as a flank player. You don't want to just wall yourself in and then just allow the other flank to run right to your pocket. You're supposed to protect your pocket. And honestly, both sides not really able to prevent that, as we have Niaz's own Champis here on the other side of the map. forcing a mess of quick walls from Cruel Cat, who will still have to deal with these units running into his base very shortly.
Yeah, Cool Cat's that quick walls don't actually protect anything. There were a couple of spots that weren't finished. And now Cool Cat, he does at least have Loom already. But it will be very annoying to have the champion. One thing Champy can't do is attack the Guanacos because they are technically a scout unit.
Yep.
So they won't be able to lame back here like Militia maybe could have.
And we actually had Cool
but he
Cat
will find a
pinging
Vil.
Turs to make sure that Turs was getting himself fully walled. Make sure that the Chompies didn't get any further forward. Even though the Muisca don't have the Champion, they have the Champion. No? I thought it was pretty good. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I think that joke should have just turned the Champy off.
Yeah, it seems fair, but the Scout Cavalry denying the quick wall right there.
Oh, wait. This Vil from Sitaux gets killed by the Tapirs. He was trying to go for the triple lore. Doesn't get them into the TC right away. He's going to try to get 2 more, but that Vil's injured too. We got another Vil down for Sitaux. That's 3 Vils down for Sitaux, killed by the Tapirs.
Oh,
Disaster.
this looks a lot like my games too, West. Oh dear, and even one of the tapirs is going back home. Feudal Age is in for Niaz. Chompy's still just running around, getting that Chompy Runner upgrade. But the eco has been disrupted now for both of the pockets for Team JorDan. They're down by around 8 villagers, and that is not where they want to start this game.
And JorDan and Margugu still are Vil fighting. All those Vils going down.
But it's like, JorDan is, in theory, the best player on his team, right? He is the captain. Do you really want JorDan playing the throwaway Civ and going for the full Vil fight? Like, doesn't it feel like a bit of a waste? I mean, he's done that all game. He's played the weakest Civ and, you know, done a lot of, like, the slinging stuff.
It does, maybe. I know JorDan's also a very experienced Rage Forest player. He's playing the lobbies all the time.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there is maybe a point where the kind of like the Archer Cav situation on Arabia, the flank can be a bit more execution based than the pocket, where you're microing units more than focusing on the boom. And we see Niaz, he tried to do a blacksmith and hope to be walled by the TC.
Oh, no.
But the men-at-arms get in anyway. The blacksmith is denied. He has to quick wall for the market, gets the quick wall up, but the men-at-arms destroy the palisade. And now the market and blacksmith from Niaz don't go up. Another man-at-arm will block for Sitaux, and that Vil will get back to the TC. But Sitaux is in.
Oh, a little too greedy there with the men-at-arm. And the villager will be safe. And thank you, Kianin, for the 37 months. Really do appreciate it. Feudal Age now in here for Sitaux. Castle Age is already on the way here for Turs, who does have a stable in, so certainly recognizing that this is not a sit-back and boom game. You still have the flanks swinging away at each other with the villagers, and it's actually now JorDan, we got the worst end of it, is now down by a villager and a half.
I don't know how this happened, but there was just a Margugu villager and a crocodile on Sitaux's berries that he had to fight off.
You know, I've always found that sometimes the best course of action is to not ask questions.
Yeah, and now, I mean, JorDan and Margugu are both not going to be in the game for a while, right? 25 to 27 Vils. I guess the Margugu could do a dock and try to fish boom as a way to come back maybe a bit faster, but that's also a pretty big investment when you've spent so much Vil time fighting. JorDan also
and you're another Civ that would rather
up
be building pastures than fishing ships.
Panic House. Yeah, that's true. You are the Catans. Men-at-Arms from Sitaux is still being annoying for Sitaux. He'll have to wall and maybe even send a Vil just to repair the market, as he doesn't want to let those Men-at-Arms in.
Definitely not, as it is going pretty low in HP pretty quickly, as we do have Arson in. But now we have more players getting up to Castle Age. But what I kind of like is that the way that Sitaux's been playing, where he's never gone all in on the Vil fight. Like, every single game so far, he's at least tried to get himself going towards late game. He has the execution to do all of that early, you know, villager shenanigans. but he's not going all in to the same degree that JorDan is.
And now a few scouts from Tur is going to help clear the champion runners along with the men-at-arms from Cool Cat. The scouts are fast enough, they force the engagement.
Yep.
Show villager KD. Yeah, 9 to 10 KD, both for JorDan and Margugu. So they both killed 9 Vills and had 1 Vill die to the Gaia player.
But Margugu had less idle time, around a minute less of it, so that's a huge advantage for him. No Doc as of yet, just starting to pasteurize his economy. And it will be Cool Cat reaching Castle Age here in just a moment. I'm pretty curious as to what the Bulgarians are doing, because Bulgarians and Slavs are pretty similar in that they both do infantry, cavalry, and siege well. So who's going to do what exactly?
And the archers now for Sitaux are being so annoying. They're going to get into the back of Niaz's base. And be like Uber Eats saying, here's your burger, Niaz.
The Vills are coming forward. What are they doing? What are they doing?
This is painful. 3 Vills down immediately from those archers killing Niaz's Vills. Gets a 4th. And now that tower with no Vills in it will be beset upon by the men-at-arms and torn down. On the other side, Margugu trying to wall
this feels like it's getting out of
in.
hand really fast.
It'll be knights from Sitaux as he's going for a forward workshop, but not all that forward? I guess he's maybe wary of Tur's light cav on the prowl.
And they certainly are just that, as you're having to do a really awkward wall here as Margugu. But it's at least going to kind of keep him safe for now.
Yeah, men-at-arms will fight the Vills. And 2 HP left. Man-at-arms sniped by the tower. That tower does stay up.
Yeah.
That does stay up. And that'll be important for stopping the forward push. There's a workshop there. But since Niaz is in the castle age, he could repair the tower, have a bit more HP on it. I don't know if there is ever a situation where Niaz would consider guard tower here, but defending against the Mangonel push might be a thought for him.
It certainly is an option. You do have very good monks as the Muisca, so that is likely what you want to gravitate towards if possible. And although we certainly have a more aggressive opening from Cool Cat, he does have a bit of a fish boom. He's still on 3 TCs, so both teams still do have players looking towards the later stages of the game.
And Sitaux has killed 12 villagers. Oh, that's crazy. And then TC up for Sitaux too, so he's going to do a bit of a 2 TC boom. And remember, as the Portuguese on the flank, he also has the option, if he ever goes imp, you can go fast imp and add Victorias.
And that's a great way to sort of pull ahead of your counterpart flank and economy. That said, again, this is what I like from Sitaux, is that he's still in a position to add economy. He's doing damage, he's still playing aggressive for sure, he's even adding in a second forward monastery. But he's not going all in by any stretch, whereas JorDan is just stuck here still in the feudal age.
Yep, and we have redemption for Niaz, as he's going to try to go monks. Let's go for a monk defense. But yeah, JorDan Margugu still feudal. That's what happens when you Vill fight this long. And yeah, Margugu is going to start adding in the fish for the fish boom.
Which is certainly going to help out, and again, it's not like either of these civs are the most important in terms of adding things to the composition later on. Both Turs and Cool Cat were adding in cavalry to support their flanks, as actually all of that siege is now cleaned up, so Turs doing a great job there, using his speedy Slavic monks to pick up extra relics. And now it's like, what is Sitaux really got going for him? Only on 55 Vills.
Oh, also the crossbow's coming over to Sitaux's dock. And the fish boom is exposed now. Cool Cat there with some knights too. And Sitaux has to protect the fish. Again, can't garrison them. Might want to do a galley in the dock to stop crossbows. He's going to try to go for another dock. We'll delay that for the moment as he's running the fishing ships away from the crossbowmen.
And like I said to you,
we'll lose a lot of eco.
Hers has 4 farms right now. It is all fishing ships from the Slav players, 17 of them.
There he goes. 20 fishing ships, 18 fish traps. Some good fish booms. We'll have a TC up for Sitaux as he's going 3 TCs for his boom. At the same time, the pocket, though, just doing a 3rd TC, and that feels awkward when the flank and pocket are doing TCs at the same time. Cool Cat has had a nice fish boom, too, as the Bulgarians. He's got 14 fish traps out. And we'll have another TC up for JorDan on the stone.
Yeah, both Turs and Cool Cat going for something of a hybrid build where you're adding in some economy and some military, which I think, given the context of both flanks being pretty messy, makes a lot of sense. Turs still has a pretty decent army here. He's got monks with sanctity, he's got some cavalry with husbandry, mangonels are here to apply pressure, and it really doesn't feel like Team JorDan's out of the woods just yet.
I mean, it's Black Forest, Ornlu. You're never out of the woods.
Not until you chop the whole thing down.
I mean, if we have a Black Forest game that runs out of trees, we're gonna need a lot of burgers to get through a game that long.
Yeah, historically Black Forest games run out of wood in around 4 hours, but hopefully we don't go that long.
Hopefully we do. I'd love that.
True. Well, Argugu is almost to the castle age. JorDan is already there. He's already adding in his economy. That said, Argugu does have the advantage of some fishing ships. So both players gonna slowly but steadily make their way back into this as Argugu actually adds 2 extra TCs right away.
Yeah, the monk's gonna try to convert some vills, force them away. Mangonels could kill their own monk. Okay, they don't kill the monk. I mean, I think Arjedan's an admin, so he might curse some Mangonels.
Yeah. That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair.
Oh, triple Mangonel kill. Oh, gets 2 of them. Nice shot from JorDan, but we'll lose his
yeah.
Mangonel.
Does have to delete the Siege Workshop. It's going to do great at keeping him alive for now, which has a lot of value. He's actually on double barracks, going to be going for some pikemen. At least the TC destruction will be heavily slowed by being able to snipe those Mangonels. That was a big win for JorDan.
Yeah, and I mean, good ram push for Niaz. And Team Sitaux up by about 50 total vills. They're getting gill nets from 2 players now.
And Imp is on the way here for the Crocs. The Crocs has been the player we've probably talked about the least this game, because other than, you know, defending against some early pressure, he's not been touched. He's been Celts with a fish boom. So if there's any Civ, it's going to be in a position to just completely turn things around for Team JorDan. Celts in this sort of spot, going to be one of them, as the Woad Raiders and Siege are already leaving the station.
Yep, it's going to be Woad Raiders. The problem is that the castles aren't forward yet. And if he wants to go Road Raiders, he has to go forward. And he might also have to face the fact that right now, the other side is dying. So he is on a strong time pressure to make this push happen and happen now. Oh, Monk's surrounded by Light Cav, though. Light Cav from Cool Cat. Oh, wait, can they reach the Monks? They're going for the Ram first. Wait, if a bunch of conversions come in, that would be crazy.
Cool
Cat, that was not the micro you needed.
That is insane.
What just happened, Ornlu?
That's ridiculous.
There were six or 7 Light Cav were just converted there.
Oh.
That is crazy.
Oh, on the other side, Crossbone are coming in and sniping a bunch more monks, but I mean, that's about as much as you could ever ask for. That Ram was just in the right place at the right time. I don't know if that was more Cool Cat mismicroing or bad pathfinding or both, but not what you expect there.
And those converted Light Cav just picked off 5 or 6 monks.
Yeah.
Might even kill a couple more. They might get converted back.
Some of them are. Meanwhile, JorDan coming out here with these pikemen. That's going to be enough to at least slow down the push for now. As
those Mangonels going down.
Yeah, I mean, Team
Mangonels
JorDan
going down.
They're around 100 eco units behind, but they're not done yet.
Yeah, holding on. They're even pushing a bit. The Woad Raiders are doing some raiding. Niaz still has those monks alive. And now, actually, wait just a moment. Sitau's cut off from the rest of his team. And there's a fish boom. Are there any vills, actually, from Cool Cat here?
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, yes, there are. Yeah, so he can actually build over here. Oh, but here comes another Light Cav against Monk play. I think Cool Cat will have better micro here. That's what you expect, like Cav
Yes.
versus Monks. But Elite Road Raiders are in. Oh, this could be a Doubt Castle, though, from the Crocs. He doesn't have enough Vills for it. It's at
Oh.
80%.
The Portuguese Woad
He has
Raiders.
Rams instead of Mangonels.
Oh, where have I seen a Doubt Castle from the Crocs before, T-West? It just feels so familiar. He's got 3 Vills left, but the archers are out, and they don't care about the pathfinding. Oh, geez, that is not what you needed for the Crocs.
No, and there are enough Monks here from Sitaux that they can deal with the Woad Raiders for the moment, at least. And that's going to let some walls go up, and Sitaux will now have that castle walled out. Maybe a siege tower with Vills could finish it, but that's about it.
Yeah, but you just don't have the siege workshop or anything like that forward. More Vills are coming forward, but this is all just about buying time. And if you can get to Cool Cat and Turs up to fully blown post-imp armies, this is likely going to be lights out for Team JorDan.
Yep, and Sitau's got the wall up. Some Treb still pressuring. That castle is going down. And X on the other side is JorDan and Shixo are clearing the front of JorDan's base, but that's just waiting for the Turs boom to kick in.
Yeah, he's on 152 Vills, only 93 right now for Shixo, and as Khmer, what exactly are you going to be able to add? I mean, you want to go elephants if you can, or ballista elephants eventually, but you have Halbs out, and you have cheap siege onagers on the other side, and that's not the sort of unit matchup you really want.
And Croc's going for the most forward castle he could possibly do. And he just needs more and more Woad Raiders. I think it's tricky, though, to be against the Portuguese, because Sitaux now is up to Imp. If he can get Imp, do chemistry, and get hand cannoneers out, that should stop the Celts push. But there are some Rams now. Ram's going to ram the walls from the back. How do Woad Raiders do against Bulgarian two-handed swordsmen if they get all the extra melee armor, as Bagains is just in? They'll have 1+8.
Yep, and that's, I was wondering if Cool Cat would be going for that all game, because you're up against Celts, Woad Raiders, they're very good units, but Baggins is 9 melee armor. That is a lot. Now, Woad Raiders have 19 attacks, so it basically just halves their attack. But they only have 3 melee armor themselves.
Yeah, I think the Woads are probably still better, but let's see, HP is 65 to 85 too.
Yeah.
But it's not as clear cut as it would be Woads versus normal two-handed swordsmen or even normal champions. But the
And the
Woads are going to be
two-handed
inside
swordsmen are cheaper
Rams,
and
and this is
easier
a
to
good
train.
Ram push.
Yep.
Okay, I'm also kind of worried about JorDan now. I think JorDan actually should be running Vills. And this could be a situation, Ornlu. Sitaux could be defeated even though his team's in a great spot.
He just has to make it as slow as possible. We do have the monk support from Niaz, which is certainly being very helpful. He's also not on the worst eco in the world. He's on 72 Vills. That's okay. They'll be able to add in more monks, and there was a great delay effort made by Sitaux, but it's not going to last forever.
Okay, but this, Ornlu, we have a Halb push now from Turs, but that's going to be against Khmer Scorpions. Turs will have to get to Siege Onager. He has Drazina, but the Khmer Scorps will slow this down for the moment, at least.
Yeah, it's not bad, and you also have Markugu here, who's going to be supplementing this army with Cav Archers for the Khitans, which is like, I mean, okay-ish, but not that exciting. And again, considering the terrible spot that Team JorDan is in, they are really playing with a lot of heart.
Yeah, and I mean, part of me is wondering if the Crocs now needs to think about walling out Cool Cat and just ensuring that Sitaux is as isolated as he possibly can be. Because Sitaux, it feels like eventually he's going to die to this. Especially if Niaz ever can contribute anything. He's still in the Castle Age booming up, but he's up to Imp. He's got 76 Vills. His monks will get a lot better if he can get block printing in Imp. And he's also in a spot where maybe he could start pushing the right side of Sitau's base if he ever could get a few Rams added.
Yeah, it's certainly an option. We have the T-Nets coming in for Turs. Getting to some Boyars wouldn't be a bad thing. But you kind of would want Siege Onagers at least in the short run, as they're the much harder counter to these heavy Scorpions. So there is at least a little glimmer of hope. That said, JorDan is dead. And JorDan is not likely going to be doing anything anytime soon. At least Portuguese have the Federias that they can re-jumpstart their eco a lot
Yes.
faster.
Yeah, there's one civ that's good at rebooming. It's the Portuguese. They can add in Fetorias. You can sling them, and then they get Fetorias. And then they get something of an eco where they can add in... Even the Trickle of Stone helps you add in TCs to reboom.
Yeah, it is a big help. That said, Cool Cat is really struggling. I know it's weird to say that he's, top scorer on his team and he's struggling, but he doesn't have that much of an army. He's trying to add in onagers. You do have the discount to those upgrades as the Bulgarians, which is very helpful, but it still is taking a while to come online.
And it feels like Sitaux is dying, slowly but surely dying. And when he dies, the Fish Boom will also die for Cool Cat. The problem is I think JorDan's even more dead. And I also think that Slavs, with the option to get Siege Onager, should be able to push the Khmer. Especially with Margugu there being alive as the Khitans. And Siege Onager now for Cool Cat. I still think I prefer Celts to Bulgarians if Celts get for Celtica Siege Onager. But
for
it's
sure.
still tricky to play because that's expensive still. And neither team really has a good trade line set up with both players losing a flank, or both teams losing a flank as they rotate around the map.
Yeah, and now the Super Scorpions are coming online for the Crocs. Remember, guys, they have the extra range from Khmer, and they have the reduced minimum range from the Romans, so... they're pretty crazy.
And they fire faster because they're Celts, and they have extra HP because they're Celts.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the regular Celt stuff also applies.
And also, let's just say Khmer Scorpions are also still really good because they have the extra range, right? And the extra range is insane that it actually helps you out against the Siege Onagers.
It is a huge difference maker, and of course, they all have the faster working Siege workshops from Celts too, so I mean, there is certainly a lot of synergy here with the Siege for Team JorDan. And those are the sorts of units you're going to need if you're going to try and make this comeback happen, as the villager counts are getting a lot closer.
Ooh. Also, importantly, though, Sitaux did manage to run. He has 2 Vills on 1 HP each that made it to build a TC in the back of Cool Cat's base. So he won't be defeated. I don't know how he got those Vills out, but it looks like Cool Cat chopped a path for him to escape, and he escapes with 2 very low HP Vills. So he won't be defeated, which is actually crucial because if this game goes for a while, if Sitaux can hold, he'll eventually be able to boom back.
Yep, and JorDan himself, also excellent job from him. He is in the corner of the opposite side of the map, and he is with a decent-ish number of villagers. The concern, though, is that it's going to be, on Federia's aside, on a low eco, there's so much more that Imperial Age Portuguese can add that is useful compared to Castle Age Romans.
Yeah, the thing is, Romans can add Scorpions. But
That's
there's
not
already
what
a lot
you
of
need right
Scorpions.
Oh, geez. Siege Ram now coming in. That's going to be huge, of course, against the Scorpions as well. You have to be very careful with those Cav Archers and Infantry, because the Khmer Scorpions are pretty crazy. But it feels like Turs is just relentlessly continuing this push forward with the assistance of Margugu.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure what unit you add here. It might be that Sitaux has to play, or that Crocs has to play Siege Onagers on both sides to have something to stop the Rams over here.
Well, we have Siege Onager in from Turs as well. Oh, sorry, you mean, yeah. It's going to be really tough. I mean, it feels like the push is starting to stall out a little bit here for the Crocs to the north, as Cool Cat's eventually getting the stuff he needs to defend, as we now have the Stirrup Hussars as well.
But Sitaux is dead, and Sitaux is far more dead than JorDan is. He only has 15 Vills, JorDan's on 64. If JorDan can get a bit of a reboom and get Imp, suddenly he'll start contributing again. But Sitaux might be dying too fast for that to happen.
Yeah, and it's like, what is Sitaux really able to do? He's trying to get some cavalry upgrades at this point, but that's not really happening. There are some Onagers on the other side for the Crocs. He's about to get Siege Onager as well, and yes, Celt Siege Onagers are extremely good. But right now, there's only really one player with a standing army here for Team JorDan, and that's the Crocs.
Wow. But now, how crucial is it that Sitaux managed to save those 2 1 HP villagers? Because he is now losing the rest of the villagers in his starting base. Had he not ran those Vills, he would be defeated right now. Like
Yep.
no question about it. He has 2 TCs, 12 vills, and he's rebooming, doing wheelbarrow. But that's it. That's it.
It really isn't much, but if you get at least a little bit of a sling and you can contribute a few bombard cannons, that's something that Bulgarians and Slavs can't do whatsoever, or Khitans for that matter. So you can still contribute a very important, meaningful unit without a whole lot of eco to support it, and that's, I think, exactly what Sitaux is trying to do here with his 3 BBCs.
Yeah, and he's going to try to do more TCs now to reboom. And he also, remember, he can consider the Fetorias. JorDan still has his starting TC alive somehow, but he's not going to be making any vills from it. He's rebooming in the east.
The Cav Archer's going to take it down pretty soon.
He has a lot of room forward, actually. But the Hussar swap now from Cool Cat, remember, they'll attack faster with stirrups, will be nice because it just contributes a unit in this area against the Celts. And if the Crocs is trying to play both sides, suddenly the Hussars, you're spamming a food unit that'll be able to fight the Woad Raiders ever so slightly and deal with the Scorpions.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice job, though, from the Crocs to snipe the trebuchets of Cool Cat, so it's at least slowing down the destruction steadily. You're also having Niaz try and switch over into some Arbalests, and, I mean, the Muisca Arbs are okay, but it still doesn't really feel like a good enough unit here at this point. Actually, you're going to be adding in some Slingers.
Yep, and I just don't know what Shikso is able to do here, but it does feel like they've stabilized a bit. Other than Shikso's on 97 vills and he's on 1 TC, and he needs to reboom himself too, as Cool Cat is pushing in the north. And now Sitaux, he's up to 20 villagers, Ornlu, 20 whole villagers.
He has doubled his villager count from just a couple minutes ago, which was 5 times his vill count a few minutes before that. Oh, we have Faith coming in for Slavs. They used to not have that upgrade. Now they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a buff they got ages ago.
I don't remember them never having that.
Yep.
Well, it does make your Onager line more resistant to conversion. Because Celts are a heresy civ, all things considered.
And a Faith civ. They have both. And the Cav Archer is still trying to supplement here. I was wondering if this would be an option. The mounted trebuchets are coming in for Margugu. They're really bad against buildings, but they are one of the better units out there for sniping enemy siege weapons, and considering your opponents are mostly making siege weapons, that should make the mounted trebuchets a very meaningful addition. Got Horakas on the way.
So Neo's on 148 vills. It's a weird thing, because I feel like Niaz has never really gotten much in the way of an army going, even though he's been somewhat reboomed for a while. And now JorDan's on 112 vills, he's up to Imp. He's a few minutes away from contributing. What do you do if you're JorDan? Do you just go Halb Hussar, I think, is Romans?
Well, you don't have Hussar, but Halb and Light Cav, yeah, probably.
Halb Light Cav? Yeah. And then you try to spam. Which side do you go? I think you have to try to fight in the north, because I don't think you have a unit that contributes in the south right now.
In general, the army quality is a lot higher in the south than it is the north, so you need to go where their opponent's armies are not quite as good. 12 mounted
because
trebs,
you're not
those
really
siege
going to
hunters are
fight
going to have a tough time
here.
surviving.
Well, this is now all about the Crocs playing in the south. I think what you're trying to do here is get it set up so the Crocs can play in the south, and then JorDan and Niaz can both play in the north, and try to play in essentially a 2v1 situation, while Sitaux on 40 vills now is rebooming.
Just getting to insane numbers, T-West! But yeah, I mean,
but
we're at
still
5
crazy.
bombard cannons. That's still super important here.
Crazy how those 2 vills had 1 HP, but now they're what's keeping him in the game. If he didn't survive and didn't have the option to reboom, I think his team would be losing here.
Now we have these 9 range slingers, which are pretty nice, but they're still slingers, and they're going to be really bad against those light cav.
Yeah, and we're seeing Margugu sending some food over to Cool Cat. Cool Cat asking for food.
Vers is also closing in on Elite Boyars. Now, he doesn't have Bloodlines, so that's going to be a very important upgrade to pick up. But Elite Boyars still going to be a pretty solid unit. They're not as good as Paladins against the Scorpions, but they're still a big, strong, heavy cav unit.
Yeah, and JorDan now, he's got a lot of pikemen. JorDan has army now. JorDan has army. He can fight the hussars. And at the very least, tank cannoneers won't be too numerous for Sitaux because he's depending on Sling now to train them.
And yet, the units are really good at staying alive, as is the nature of ranged units. And now you even have some creep posts on the way. Gonna help these siege onagers have the space to pancake the enemy units.
And elite boyars from Turs are going to massacre the Woad Raiders.
Oh yeah, they're very good against Woad Raiders.
Because they themselves have 18 attack and 9 armor, and 150 HP against Woad Raiders that are 19 attack but only 3 armor and 85 HP. So everything here kind of counters Woad Raiders, and slowly but surely, Shikso is dying.
Yeah, this does look like the end for Team JorDan, who had a really good start to the set, but just could not win in the trenches, and it was really in the last couple of games just one of the flanks being too far behind to really contribute.
And as you said earlier, those bombard cannon for Sitaux added in here and there from a sling. While he was rebooming, he didn't really need eco because he didn't need a lot of units. He just needed a few powerful units, and his team was able to sling him to them.
And it's just the bombard cannons add so much value to this push. You have elite Guecho warrior on the way. That doesn't feel like it's going to do anything either, as, I mean, it's like, what can Niaz really make that's going to be stopping this?
And we're going to have a castle here for Niaz. Niaz is doing masonry too. But now it feels like JorDan's team is restricted to 2 bases.
Yep.
Whereas Sitau's team has 6 of them. And there will be the GGs. And Sitau's team, after losing the first game, will come back and win the set 2-1. And honestly, this was a crazy game where
Yeah.
I honestly think if Sitaux didn't run those 2 1 HP vills, he's defeated, and then his team's playing 3v4, and then things actually get interesting if he doesn't have all this bombard cannon over here.
Yeah, then it's so much more difficult for this north side to push. That said, this south side felt something inevitable, as again, JorDan just too far behind to really make a comeback happen, and it's just Romans require so much of a larger eco than do the Portuguese in that sort of situation. And on top of that, Sitaux also died a lot slower than JorDan did. Even if he died more completely, he was able to sort of maintain that presence for a lot longer.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. He died slower even though he was closer to being defeated. And at the end, Niaz going full monks. Yeah, he had 80 conversions.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
But both flanks combined. I talked about that in that first game where Margugu had, I think, 17 kills. If you're not getting kills in military, your team eventually can't overcome that because it adds up to too much of an eco difference.
Yep.
Where the other team doesn't need to replenish their forces as quickly. And Cool Cat, 400 kills. The Crocs, 529 kills. JorDan, 126 deaths in his attempt to die slowly. But man, that was crazy. I'm glad to see some Rage Forest where we have some exciting games like that. I always love seeing all the different combinations we have of civs, and the drafting and figuring out where to use the civs is so important.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
especially
let me
because
just
there's such
check
a
off.
huge schism in power level across the civs.
Yeah, and sometimes you find a creative way to use a civ that catches someone off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal set, says Menunez. Yeah, Menunez is going to be on ACCM's team. And let me just check out the schedule real quick in the Rage Forest Discord RF6 schedule. So we have right here, that was our first set, Sitaux JorDan. We have ACCM versus Lewis, Saturday 17 GMT. I should say these in order, wait. All right, we got Barles Samaro, Friday 18 GMT. Vala's Doubt, Friday 19 GMT. ACCM Lewis, Saturday 17 GMT. Timo Viper, Saturday 18 GMT. And then Tato Mihai, Monday at 15 GMT. And I think there's one more set that still needs to be scheduled there.
But obviously, we are going to be off to the races here. We have this that's going on. We have the league qualifiers that's going on. We have hamsters versus clowns that's going on. So there's a lot going on in AoE at the moment.
Yep, and let me just check out the Wikipedia page real quick. So we have teams are split into 2 separate groups of 8. Top 4 teams from each group will qualify for the playoffs, and that's Sitaux getting off to a good start against JorDan with that 2-1 lead. Not a 3-0 sweep, but a 2-1 lead.
Still a solid first
And-
entry.
Yep, of course, all the captains after the teams were drafted, they rated each other's teams to determine the seeding. And Viper's team is, of course, team number 16 out of 16. He wasn't there for the draft, so he had to submit a preference list, and they drafted based on that preference list. And he basically got himself and everyone else as a pocket player. So I think there's some
That's what I'm
trepidation
seeing right
about
here.
what the other flank is going to do on his team.
Well, they've got Frost9 and Kellar, so if they are set up to play deathmatch, they're going to have some of the best deathmatch players in the world right there.
They are. But it is not a deathmatch tournament, however. But yeah, anyway, thanks for hopping on for the Codecast, Ornlu. Thanks for
Thanks for joining me.
keeping the fort held down while my internet died.
Anything
or while
for
my
you,
power
buddy.
went out. Well, it wasn't an internet problem, it was a power problem today.
Yeah?
So thanks very much. And
Yep.
yeah, this is the only set today. We'll have more coming up. As I said, the next sets will be on Friday. Maybe one more set gets scheduled before that, but I'll keep a post up and in my Discord. So thanks, Ornlu. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, talk to you later, man. Bye-bye. T-West sucks, man. He's the worst. Literally the worst. Can't stand casting with him. Yep. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Tomorrow... Hamsters versus clowns in 12 hours. Oh, wait, no way I'm casting that. That's at 3 in the morning. Lidacor! Hey, man. So, yeah, there's a league qualifier, too, so I'll cast that. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon.